see. Finally able to sit down. Ugh. Had to run and get extra pull-ups. Then I also had to go and pick up some Brahms. The wife is still sick. Feeling a lot better now, though, for sure. But still sick. No cooking tonight. Just totally fine, you know. That's what this is here for. But I'm gonna enjoy me some Brahms. Why not? Fast food's bad. So is soda. But every now and then ain't too bad. So I'm gonna have to get strict on my diet again starting here Monday. Very, very strict. How's everyone doing? Ooh, man, it is so hot out. Man, okay. Last night at 3 a.m., I had a lightning strike so close and so loud it set off every single smoke detector in my house. It is unbelievable. Like, and I don't mean like lightning hit and then the smoke detectors went off. I mean, as soon as the lightning just went crack, like as soon as that first sound happened, my ears were ringing. And then as my ears come to, I hear the smoke detectors already just going off. So my first reaction was, holy crap, it struck my house and it's on fire. So I'm looking around everywhere and the smoke detector shut off within like, I don't know, 10 seconds. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, I have never had a lightning strike so freaking loud that the sound itself actually set off the smoke detectors. I would like to know exactly how that happened. I haven't even bothered to Google it. Lightning strike so loud sets off. Oh yeah, right here. It's that's the autofill sets off smoke alarm. A lightning strike can set off a hardwired smoke alarms due to an electrical power surge. Oh, it must have. Okay, yeah. So it did it due to this power surge that happened. It must have struck some sort of power line pole or something. I don't know how it didn't take our power out. After that lightning strike, because of the garbage town I live in, you know, just wind alone will shut my power off for like hours. It's unbearable. And man, this town's so freaking corrupt. It's unbelievable. We have the most expensive, one of the most expensive, at least, electric bills in the entire state. And we have probably the oldest electric grid, probably in the state. It constantly cuts out. It constantly messes up. And they constantly keep way overcharging us. It's unbelievable. Everything about this freaking town sucks, pretty much. I cannot wait. Once I get out of this town, I am going to do what I can to expose it. But the problem is the town I live in is so unbelievably corrupt, they would come after me. They would do terrible things. I'm not even kidding. Boy, do I have some stories to share with you guys one of these days. I can't wait. No, I'm not in Jinx or Coweta. Are Jinx and Coweta? I thought Jinx was, like, really, really good. Coweta's really good, too, isn't it? I wanted to move to Coweta. It's just south of Broken Arrow. Beautiful area. Is it, like, is that a bad area? I went and got because they, one of the first snow cone places that did, like, all the gourmet snow cones with the ice cream and all the gummies and stuff that they did, all that was over in Coweta. We went over there. No, the nearest data center is over in Pryor, Oklahoma. That's the largest Google site in the entire world. Pretty cool. I worked there for, I want to say 14 years. A couple of different companies that I went through there. Hey, Mickey, I also used to live in Broken Arrow. It was an awesome place. And then Joe Biden got me fired from my job because I refused to take the jab, and then I had to sell my house. Yeah. I wish I was still living there right now. You're from Shoto? Ah. Heck yeah. I frequent Shoto. Pizza Corral all day long. All day long. And also Dutch Pantry. Amish Cheese House. My best friend lived directly behind the Amish cheese house, right across from the pharmacy, for like 5 years. In fact, a vast majority of our other channel, Intoxigaming, was filmed in that house. So, very cool place. Very, very great place. I love that place. Oh, man. Let's see. Any of you guys familiar with, I think it's Locust Grove? There's a fun little fact. My boss, my ex-boss at Google, is the mayor of Locust Grove. So, he wasn't the mayor at that time. But, you know, it's Google, and they find a way to get rid of people. They don't like having good people there. They want to have the dumbest people. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. I have never seen such good workers just absolutely get treated like garbage. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that there's so many people at Google that were so good. There's so many bosses at Google that were so good. So many CEOs that I've actually known at Google. Well, not CEOs. It was like the general, what did they call him? I think we had a CFO that worked on that site, but who was he? Whenever he quit, it was one of the funniest things, or not quit, he got a promotion. This is one of the funniest stories I think that we've ever done. So a lot of us over at Google, and a lot of the Googlers, like to have a lot of fun. Now, back then, at this point in time, I was actually doing janitorial. I was like 19 or 20, and I was doing janitorial work over at Google before I moved on to security, stuff like that. And this is so crazy. They they had these big cutout faces of him. They were like this big, and he's like this redheaded dude, you know, very ginger guy, very, very, very ginger. And they had these popsicle sticks, and they all were doing this. Like I guess celebrating him going up to Mountain View and getting a major promotion. And I had access to the women's bathroom. The women's bathroom has these showers. It was like you walked into the women's bathroom, and it was just a straight hallway down. There was like 10 stalls, and then there were 2 showers at the back end. And what we did was we took one of those big heads, and we just taped it right there at the end of one of the showers where the head is peeking out literally like this. It's like, so it would have been kind of like this. Just the head peeking around the corner, staring right at you. So we had that, and I would go in there at about 4 a.m, and I would tape it right there into the showers. And then I would jump back to the other guys, and there was like 3 or 4 Googlers that worked the night shift, and I would sit there, we'd be BSing. And right at about 6 o'clock every morning, that door would open up, and you would hear a woman just scream at the top of her lungs because there's like a guy just staring at her. And she, ah! You know, it's whatever noise she makes, high-pitched scream, you know, I can't do that. But, and then you would just immediately hear them drop an expletive afterwards. And then they'd come around, and of course, we're laughing. They'd come around the corner like, "When do you put that up there?" And we were like, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay, you got me." And then it was about 2 minutes later, another one, and then another one, and then another one. And it would just keep happening. And we're just sitting in the back, just laughing our rear ends off every single time. And after about day 3, they then came and talked to us, and they're like, "Okay, the women are terrified to go into their bathroom now, so can you please stop doing that?" And it was like, "Okay, fine, fair." We had 3 days of fun. It was one of the funniest things ever. Oh, man. Such good times. Such really, really good times. Really sucks because it's like 3 out of the 5 people that I was doing that with. Yes, 3 of them passed away. One of them, well, I won't go into detail. Well, all 3 of them are. It's not great. It's not great what happened. It sucks. But yeah, good times. Good. We had so many good times there. It just sucks to look back on it and see how communist and crazy they are. I should tell the story about how they brought all these Venezuelans over into there, and they were not nice people. They were not nice people at all, and they started flooding. They flooded in all these California people too, and they made one of the guys had Trump stuff all over his desk. They made him remove all of that and stuff. He was so mad about it, and that was one of the last times I ever saw him. I won't say any names, but, you know. Wow, you guys are just on the donations already. Holy cow, thank you so much, Pixel Minute Games, for 10 memberships. Welcome aboard here, Observing Chaos, Say What You Won't, Greg Otts, Legendary CEO, Waffles Bacon 5, Fiery Red Podcast, Long Live Liberty, Christina Hernandez, Robert Anderson, and 1996 Forever. Welcome, guys. Thank you all so much. And Pixel Minute Games for the 10. And thank you so much. That is very nice of you. Seriously, thank you. You guys are unbelievably nice. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Pixel Minute Games. And I am very close to 40,000. Oh, why do I have a... Oh, it's just showing my... So dumb. Oh, silly. Hold on. Get this fixed up. There we go. Dang old thing. Here, I'll move it over here. Alrighty, guys. So we're going to watch this Candace Owens thing. She's left us a little Young Turks video to watch. We may have to, Wait, Legendary CEO, you're in Northeast Oklahoma, too? Holy cow. How did I collect so many Oklahoma people here that live in this area? Green country for life. Man. That is wild. Once I leave this town and get a big old plot of land, that's the whole plan there. One of these days, anyway. Probably when my channel gets to about 100,000 subscribers, I'll be able to afford to do that. And then after that, I'll tell you guys all about this garbage town. Hopefully we can put some pressure on this garbage town, too. You know what I mean? But yeah. Artie's on overtime? A little bit. Not so bad today. Yesterday I was really on overtime, but today, it's been a little bit of a breather. I had to run and pick up, diapers and stuff. Well, not diapers, they're pull-ups. They're almost out of them. We're so close. So close to them being just fully potty trained. Let's see. Let's see. I gotta message a buddy back real quick. Gotta... Oh, I was gonna... Yeah, duh. So hot in this room. It's hot everywhere, though. It's... Oh, man, it's brutal today. Well, it's not brutal today. I mean, it was a lot worse yesterday. This rain came through and was a blessing. Holy cow, those storms, though, huh? Those storms today, everyone knows. Did you all see the radar today? Like, did you all actually see the weird storms that came through? Like, yeah, that was some crazy crap. Also, thank you again, Legendary CEO, for that. Good to know y'all are in Oklahoma. We ought to have a big old Oklahoma get-together. Maybe I ought to smoke up a couple of big old pork butts. Rent out a place and just have you guys all meet up, and I'll just serve y'all some pork. Know what I mean? That'd be some good stuff. Oh, man. That or I could do... Oh, I've been wanting to do these pork belly skewers so bad. I saw a recipe for them. Make this, it's called this candy apple pork bellies, and it's like a half sweet and sour, half candy apple, or half jelly, like an apple jelly and half sweet and sour. You mix all that up, and then you smoke your pork bellies for like 4 hours, and then you dunk them in, and then put them back on the grill for another like 10 minutes, and then it like hardens and candies it all up. Man. Hey, Graz, thank you so much for joining as a troll. Yeah, chunk yogurt. Ugh. Yeah, we should probably do that. Guyman, Oklahoma, huh? Man, that's like down south, isn't it? It's like really far down south, isn't it? Let's see. It's the largest city and county set of Texas County. It just put up maps. Why did it... That is, oh, it's in the Panhandle. It's not south. Never mind. You're over by Black Mesa, aren't you? Where is Black Mesa? Or is this the Gloss Mountain? Wait, where is it? Oh. I know Beaver's close to a monument. I'll have to get to know all my... I need to go visit the Panhandle, because the Panhandle has so many places that I genuinely want to go see. I don't really go out to the Panhandle often. That's for sure. Panhandle's like, yeah. Wait, Black Mesa from Half-Life? Oh, man, have you not seen Black Mesa? Check this out. Check this out. Black Mesa out here. This is Oklahoma. Look at that. This is Oklahoma. And then also Oklahoma. This is also Oklahoma. Crazy, right? Oklahoma's got a very, very, very vast. And also, we got this in Oklahoma. The Salt Flats. Not even kidding. This is in Oklahoma. We actually have Salt Flats just like Las Vegas, Nevada. Isn't that crazy? Like, we have straight up Salt Flats here. It is the wildest thing. We also have Robbers Cave, Oklahoma, where Jesse James and all them hid out. Crazy stuff, huh? Robbers Cave is probably one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been to in my entire life. I'm not even kidding. Like, that's just beautiful. Oklahoma is probably the most, in my opinion, probably the most beautiful state out of all the United States. So, there is that. Oh, yeah, Oklahoma City, it's just crazy. And then down south, we have Turner Falls, which went viral a couple months ago because of the... What was it that we hosted here? The World Cup. When we hosted the World Cup, a lot of these guys were traveling through here and ended up over here down southern Oklahoma, which is Turner Falls. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of beauty that is in this state. And people just don't know. Like, here's Turner Falls in the fall. So you got a double fall situation going on here. Let me move myself. Like, that's wicked. That is unbelievable beauty. I'm not sure which area I want to move to in Oklahoma first, though. I'm staying in Oklahoma for sure. But if I ever get my pick to be able to purchase land, wherever I want to get it, Yeah. Well, hey, Elite Gaming, literally the reason why I'm half Irish and half Native American is because of that. That's exactly right. So, if y'all don't know, the Oklahoma land run took place, I think it was in 1919. Let me see. When was the Oklahoma land run? Oh, no, it was probably like 1906, right? Oh, 1889. Okay. Oklahoma didn't become a state until 1907. And so in April 22nd, wow, that's hilarious, kind of, but 1889, what happened is a bunch of Irishmen, Irish people weren't really considered human back then. So they kind of kicked them out and were like, hey, go to Oklahoma. And by the way, you could, whatever land you have, like your stakes, whatever stakes you put down is the land you own. You just get it for free. It was a great way to kick all the Irish out. You know what I mean? And so they made the Irish go all the way to the Native American reservations and whatnot for the most part. Just take land. It was wild. The tornadoes are terrifying. Genuinely. Well, they were called Sooners because they were not supposed to go yet. And so they ended up cheating. They were called Boomers. The Boomers were the ones that were supposed to go there. And then it was, that's how we got Boomers sooner. The Boomers were the ones who waited to go. And then the Sooners were the people who were like, you know what? I'm not waiting until the day that everyone can do the land run. I'll just go right now. And then they did. And they just started taking it. It's crazy. Oh, man. Of the Google breach? Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not surprised. Like, Google has a Google breach about every 6 months. Yeah. It's very unfortunate. But, yeah, for real. Oklahoma, man, it's rough during tornado season, that's for sure. I really need to invest in a good, tornado shelter, that's for sure. That is for dang old sure. Man, I've been so sweaty today. I got one piece of hair that's like, it's just decided that it's on its own. I don't know what the heck. It just wants to stick to my head now. It's annoying. They just tie it back. Ah, it's too dang hot. Anyway, Kansas City Jayhawk says, I'm drunk, but you're hilarious. Hey, I'm glad to put a laugh on your face. Hey, just wait, or a smile on your face. I'm glad to make you laugh. I don't know what the heck I'm saying today. But all that aside, I'm going to eat a burger. We're going to watch Candace Owens be completely and totally stupid because that's just, man, she's just good at that. So we'll see what Anna Kasparian and Candace Owens are going to talk about. They used to be mortal enemies, and now they're best friends. It's kind of weird how that works, you know. I guess once you just sign up with the left and the only people you talk to are on the left, and then you pretend like you're not on the left, I mean, it's crazy. Crazy stuff, isn't it? But, alrighty, guys, let's jump on into this. Music to my ears. Okay, I'll play it.
You're just not following it enough. It seems pretty, like, if you're going to engage and you're going to say the evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson is guilty, I just think that you should, like, right. Can you tell me one
Then let's do the counter. This question. Is fair. Name all seven since you've been following the case.
Okay, sure. You name one.
Yeah, you named all seven.
I'm happy to do that, but can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
Isn't that crazy? This is the only clip Candace Owens has. And this is still what they are using. This is just it. She had nothing to back in a single claim that she's made over the Tyler Robinson case. She just got a quick little gotcha. It goes to show how unbelievably evil she is when this is all she has. And yet her audience, I don't think she has more than a few thousand people in the United States that follow her. I think the rest of her 6 million subscriber crowd has got to be from different countries or they're bots. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Yeah, she is Legion, cats out of the bag. She's let a lot of cats out of the bag this week, hadn't she?
That's actually incredible.
Who both made Candace Owens $300,000 to engage in that debate have absolutely no familiarity with the topic at hand. Namely, the Tyler Robinson case. You know, the suspect who's accused of.
Yeah, I would definitely say she's evil. You know, I'd say it's pretty evil to be lying. Is that a good guy? Or is that a good guy thing there, huh? Dude, this guy is hardcore cope. Okay, I'll give you a chance. I'm a Legion. I'll give you one chance. Tell me one point Candace Owens managed to prove on a single claim that she has made during this debate. I'll wait for one point that she made to substantiate her claims that Tyler Robinson's innocent or that TPUSA was in on it. And if you ad hom me one more time, though, instead of answering my questions, though, I will just ban you. I'm letting you know now. So I'm going to ask you this question very clearly. Name one single point Candace Owens made. Okay? Are we clear? You go now. If you give me any other answer other than what I asked for, you're just gone instantly and you'll be forgotten. Let's wait for it. All right. Well, so far he's gone pretty quiet, so I'm guessing he's typing. And you're gone. What an idiot. I can't believe somebody's that stupid. Unbelievable, man. Imagine going through life being that genuinely stupid. Oh, I'm going to come in here and make a bunch. Oh, it's just so funny. Candace Owens doesn't have a single point. She wasn't able to prove a single thing, but I'm just going to call you an idiot instead of actually, you know, being able to answer a simple question. Again, proving the point that only Candace Owens is allowed to ask questions and nobody else is. Rules for thee, not for me. Unbelievable how leftist these people are. Like I said, evil. Evil. They could just slander, make stuff up. They are not expected to back a single claim of theirs, but they will ask for proof all day long. All day long, they'll ask for proof. But when you ask them for proof for their claims, they don't have to. They don't have to do it. So,
assassinating
good
Charlie
job
Kirk.
messing that up.
Now, Candace's detractors have basically brushed that moment off as like, no big deal, no biggie.
It's really not a big deal at all. He got murder right. It's murder. Aggravated is a enhancement on the murder charge.
But it is a big deal because prior to that debate, Andrew Wilson declared that there was overwhelming evidence that Tyler Robinson is guilty.
Yes.
Okay, guilty of what? How can
murder.
One know what Robinson is guilty of if he doesn't know what he's charged with?
Anna Kasparian's so stupid, she doesn't think that murder is a charge at all. Unbelievable. Do you think that Charlie Kirk was murdered that day? What is wrong with her?
Because Robinson wasn't simply charged with murder. He's facing trial for a more severe charge of aggravated murder, which could translate to the death penalty if Robinson is convicted. And as you can imagine, the burden of proof required to convict someone of that charge is rather high, rightfully so.
So funny.
So when Wilson says that there's overwhelming evidence to show that Robinson is guilty, well, he should be able to present that evidence. We should be able to see that evidence. And remember, there could be no...
Well, what the hell do you think the trial's for, Anna? It's unbelievable.
Reasonable doubt.
They'll do anything to cover up for one of their own.
Offering Candace Owens $300,000 to debate her with that stance, and then say this at the very beginning of an hours-long debate. Take a look.
Just out of curiosity, are you between 0 to 100? What is the likelihood that you think Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk and killed him?
Based on the evidence right now?
Based on the evidence right now. Did you misunderstand that one?
I don't know. I'd say 75, 85%.
Okay.
Oof. Look, that was not a great moment for Andrew Wilson. That guy's supposed to be like a amazing debate. Okay, amazing debater. Now, Candace, on the other hand, demonstrated that she's...
What's your problem with 85%? 75 to 85% sure that it was him that did it. What exactly is your issue with that, Anna? I would like to know. Genuinely, I would like to know. Dr. Gankenstein for the $5 says these people have become worse than MSM. That is a fact. Thank you so much for that, man.
Knowledgeable about every nook and cranny of the case, including what I feel is the bare minimum of what Wilson should have known. Take a look.
Now name all
we've
7.
Already done this.
Fingers
Murder.
up, death. I don't have urge.
We got it. I'm tired of you playing the clip.
Now look, regardless of what you might think about Candace Owens, she's been investigating Charlie Kirk's assassination
She has never investigated a single day or a single moment about this murder. She's never gotten off her rear end and investigated anything.
Every single day since it happened.
No, she hasn't.
Anyone who follows her show has seen her exclusively present materials that give any rational person the very reasonable doubt that would acquit Tyler Robinson.
Okay, like what?
Remember, he stands accused of killing Charlie Kirk by firing a single shot to...
So hold on. Candace Owens has shown enough evidence to show that Tyler Robinson could be acquitted, but she couldn't, during the debate, find a single clip that backs that claim? For real? Why? Okay, I'm sure you're going to show us a clip of her during the debate actually, genuinely showing that Candace Owens was able to defend her position that Tyler Robinson should be acquitted, right? I can't wait to see that clip. If I had to guess, let's see. Nope. Let's see. Let's go through all of this. Does the debate come back up at all? Nope. Not here, not here. Nope, that's the Terrell Farnsworth stuff. Nope. We're 20 minutes in now. No Andrew Wilson stuff. No Andrew Wilson, no Andrew Wilson. Okay, we're 26 minutes in. No Andrew Wilson, no Andrew Wilson, no Andrew Wilson. Oh, here's a panel. Okay, no Andrew Wilson, though. No Andrew Wilson debate whatsoever. So you mean to tell me there's not a single, scrubbing through all of this, there is not a single other clip from the Andrew Wilson debate? That's unbelievable. She doesn't show a single clip from the Andrew Wilson debate that confirms that Tyler Robinson should be acquitted. Or at least even gives us a tiny little bit of doubt. Not a single clip. Why? If she's so certain that Tyler Robinson should be acquitted, why wasn't she able to iterate that during the debate?
The neck with a 30-06 rifle, and he allegedly did so from a roof 142 yards away.
Well, it was actually with a 30-06 bullet, but good try.
So look, we're going to show you some of the material that Candace has presented on her show. And luckily, Candace joins us today to walk us through it all. Candace, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for doing this, especially on such short notice. I was planning on doing this segment totally by myself, but there's just so much, and I know I'm gonna miss things, and you do really know this case like the back of your hand. So wait, what? I wanna start off
YouTube
by-
channel members, hold on. Xeno Dragon, the Gay AF Dragon, AJ, Chris, these are the people that are YouTube channel members that they're showing at the bottom of this. I'm not even kidding, look at this. Wait, dang it, there we go. The Gay AF Dragon. Executive producers, Xeno Dragon, the Gay AF Dragon, AJ, and Chris Burr. I don't even know the last name, but that is so unbelievable, guys. Yeah, should we take them serious with this? Should we really take the Young Turks serious?
You know, this case crazy. Like the back of your hand. So I want to start off by talking about what you covered on your show yesterday, because for me, that was it. At that point, I'm like, I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to give her kudos because this video footage is very suspicious and we need answers, and it does cast some doubt on the official narrative surrounding Tyler Robinson and how this assassination allegedly took place. So, you have mentioned on your show repeatedly that less than 4 minutes after Charlie Kirk was shot, Terrell Farnsworth, who runs audio and visual for Turning Point USA, was seen.
Oh, hey, Fax Me sent 5 memberships. Thank you so much, man. Hey, good to see you here. How you been doing, man? Yuckfu YouTube 2, welcome aboard. Yannicka 12, welcome aboard. C-Star, welcome aboard. Camzilla, welcome aboard. The Great Conspiracy, welcome aboard. Thank you all so much for being here. And Fax Me, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Where are we at here? Oh, man. You guys are amazing. Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Taking down one of the cameras that was like on the set where Charlie was, right?
Yeah,
so there's 3 cameras in total.
Crazy, right?
But the one camera behind him, which would capture the back of Charlie's head and the audience viewing him, that's the camera less than 4 minutes after Charlie Kirk was shot. That's the camera that Terrell Farnsworth goes to immediately, takes it down, and then there's video of that moment along with some of the context of what you had to say about the video. So I want to just show the audience that, and then we'll go to the new footage that you presented yesterday. Everyone take a look.
Secret desk burger.
So when the footage began going viral, the clip of Terrell taking down that camera in particular, people online, I think, rightfully speculated that there must have been something really important about that back footage behind Charlie's head specifically. And then people were gaslit. We were told no, there was nothing unique about that camera. There was nothing unique about that footage in particular.
It's a wide angle camera, it captures more. I don't know if you know that. It probably also has the better angle out of all the other cameras. See, the other cameras were specifically focused. One camera was specifically focused on Charlie. The other camera was specifically focused on the person speaking. So those would be telephoto, those would be up closer, those wouldn't have the crowd, those wouldn't have the people on the roof, wouldn't have any of that stuff whatsoever. So I can understand why they would go for the wide angle lens that captures everybody in the crowd and everybody all around there and stuff. I don't know if it would have captured necessarily the roof or not due to the tarp and the top of the tent. So it might not have, but they might have thought somebody in the crowd shot Charlie at that time. They may not have known that it came from the roof. So kind of makes sense that they would have grabbed that camera. The other 2 cameras were up close shots. Those wouldn't have been nearly as good, and they probably wouldn't have captured anything. So there's just that fact. By the way, Artistic Layman for $10 says, I wish Andrew listened to all the available evidence in a coherent manner, like Ryan Mullally spells out, just so the audience could hear what the overwhelming evidence was in one place. Yeah, but he had a pretty short amount of time to do it too. But I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and accuse Andrew of being an intellectual per se. He's a smart guy. But I'm not going to accuse him of being someone on, like, I don't know, James Lindsay's level or Alex Jones even, you know what I mean? Not that I'm defending Alex Jones or anything like that, but Alex Jones does quite literally have a photographic memory. Like, actually has one. So he can literally just, like, go back into his mind and remember things exactly. And actually, he can read out a whole article just based on memory, word for word, which is freaking crazy. You know, like or hate Alex Jones, he does have that ability, and very few people in the world have a photographic memory, so that's wild. I don't remember exactly. He's got like a specific type too. I can't remember what his type of photographic memory is, but it's pretty crazy. So, you know, I'm not going to sit here and really trash Andrew Wilson too much. He jumped on board pretty early, or not early on. He jumped on board a little later with the whole debating Charlie Kirk thing. He's a really, really good debater. He's great at crunching information very early and very quick. I feel like if he would have had an additional week or two to debate Candace, things probably would have gone a lot different. I think he would have been able to get that information. You know what I mean? It was just very short time. I don't expect anybody of an IQ between 100 and 108 to be able to just, you know, do all that quickly. So I don't know. I can't criticize him too much, but I totally understand where you're coming from for sure. I think he should have spent more time studying and pushed off the debate just a little longer, and I think that probably would have been better. Otherwise, honestly, again, there's a reason why Candace Owens only has one single clip from a 4-hour debate. It's because she didn't do too well. And the fact that she didn't do too well against Andrew Wilson should terrify her. Because somebody who is also very good at debate, but also has the capacity to memorize a lot, would utterly destroy her without a second thought. It wouldn't even be close. But Candace Owens isn't looking to do that. Clearly, she was able to retain her audience and put out, like, just garbage information from one single clip that she got from the debate, and look at how many people are defending her. It wouldn't have mattered if somebody was... It wouldn't have mattered if we had the greatest genius debater on the planet destroy her. She was never going to use a viral moment unless it was just one quick little gotcha, and that was enough to satisfy her entire audience. Which is why I say I think she's evil and her audience is evil. Because the fact that they only needed a clip to just be like, haha, he didn't know all the law or don't know all the charges, and that's it. That's all it took for them. What are we dealing with here? We're not dealing with normal human beings. We're dealing with very special human beings. People who aren't capable of thinking for themselves whatsoever. And they'll never be capable of thinking for themselves. We're never going to be able to reason with these people. Even when Tyler Robinson is found guilty. When he admits guilt or if he's found guilty, they will still think he's innocent. I promise you. They will still think he's innocent. I can't wait for Candace Owens to come out and say Brian Kohberger's innocent as well. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Pat, thank you so much for that, Artistic Layman. You're freaking awesome. Pat the Plumber sent 5 troll gift memberships. Man, you guys are so generous. It's unbelievable. Thank you, guys. Randy Doyle, Ryan Doyle, thank you so much. Welcome aboard, man. I hope you enjoy the membership. Spiritually Inspired Writer, welcome aboard. Irish Dave, welcome aboard. Sterile Pickle, here really getting ready to stick it to Candace. You should change your name to Legal Pickle. There we go. It's so funny still, though. You got a great name still. It's funny. CLG Down Under, also welcome aboard, man. Got an Aussie in here. Yeah, got quite a few Aussies, too. It's great. Absolutely great. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for everything you all do.
Terrell actually grabbed all of the footage, and he did so because people were stealing and people are evil.
She's clipping
which
hardcore.
We then said our common sense went, that doesn't really make sense, because if he was worried about people stealing, like, wouldn't he be concerned with the camera? It was just the SD card that he took out. Contrary to what Andrew Colvett is saying, there was something special about that footage behind Charlie's head.
I gotta change my color.
And Terrell beelined to it in particular. And he was nervous about that footage in particular.
How do you know?
Because
what do you mean
he
was
did
nervous?
not instantly grab all of the SD cards. He grabbed that one and he did it nervously. Here he is.
What do you mean he did it nervously? Like, I can understand to a degree him thinking maybe somebody's going to start firing shots at him to a degree. It's so nervous.
He's taking down the camera altogether.
Oh,
if you're worried about theft, take the whole camera. It's pretty small. It's in your hand. He doesn't do that. He takes it apart and he takes the SD card out.
Wow.
And he looks around. He wants to see who's looking at him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. TPUSA shared that Charlie said this: if you want to understand Candace, she is all about money. Oh, yeah.
And
we found that out. $300,000. She
looks down at it and he walks around. And we had wondered, what did Terrell do when he walked around? He hasn't addressed any other camera there, just that one.
So it's definitely strange that he didn't address any other camera except for the one directly behind Charlie Kirk. And you actually reached out to him. You knew who he was because of your time with Turning Point USA. You spoke to him on September 18th to ask about it. What did he tell you?
It was the first thing that made me uncomfortable in this case. He
told me Erica did it.
Basically was saying a bunch of excuses that didn't make any sense. The first thing he said was, he wanted to secure the footage because he didn't want Erica to see Charlie die in 4K.
Did you ever think that maybe Terrell just didn't want to give you any footage and was just being nice about it and was sitting there thinking, hey, it's really none of your business. This is a TPUSA matter and a matter of the police. It's really none of your concern whatsoever. But instead of just saying that because he didn't want you to explode on him, he just gave you excuses. I know plenty of people who would do that. Plenty. Because they don't want to deal with conflict. And if I had to guess, Terrell is probably a person who doesn't want to deal with conflict. And he probably just BS'd her. It gave her any excuse to get her to shut up and leave him alone. That's probably really what happened. If I had to guess, he was just like, I don't want to tell her that I can't give her the footage, that I'm not allowed to give her the footage. So instead, I'll just be like, look, I just can't send it to you. I don't want to send it over the mail. And that's assuming that any of this, or over email, that's assuming that she even had this conversation with him like that. Because she has never shown us that he was denying giving her the footage. So there's that aspect too.
Okay. And I said, Terrell, we all just watched Charlie die. Like, they're not saving her from that inevitability because, that's the whole thing. It was a live stream. We all watched this already. It's all over the internet and it's from the front. Why would you grab the back footage if that was your concern? And then he told me that I said, could you just send it to me because I'm not going to show the footage. I just want to see it so I can then.
I bet Terrell does wish he told her to kick rocks now. I bet he does. I bet he wishes he had just told her, I'm not giving you this footage. Leave us alone. You're not a part of this.
Defend you on my platform, which was my intention to say, hey guys, like, this is the reason he did this. Maybe a police officer told him to grab all the footage. I hadn't put the pieces together yet. And
he probably didn't know she was going to be this crazy.
Well, I don't know how to send a file that big. And I said, Terrell, you run an audiovisual company. You know how to send big files. Like, you can use WeTransfer. You could use Google. And then he said he was worried that Google was going to hack him. I mean, these are just totally, frankly, bizarre excuses for not showing me the.
But she also has no proof, so I don't know what to believe, except for probably not her.
Footage, I would have happily gone to him. I would have jumped on a Zoom call, and I was like, "Hey, you're acting really strange." I told him that. I said, "Oh,
GML,
this is all very weird. Like, what would Google hack you for?
Good,
for the purpose of then showing the footage that we've all seen? Like, we're all going to see Charlie die again? Like, what kind of a conspiracy is this?" And so you fast forward to this preliminary hearing and the testimony of the State Bureau of Investigations, and I find out that actually 8 days prior to him speaking to me, actually on the day that Charlie was assassinated, he sent them Google links. So clearly he wasn't fearful about Google. Clearly he knew how to share a link, as I know he did.
But you could have just made that whole Google thing up. You don't have any evidence that he ever said that.
Natural question that I have is, why did he lie to me? Why did he lie to me?
Well, not only that, and this is really important. So he took the SD card out of the camera. You just mentioned that he provided investigators with Google links of the footage. Did he provide them?
As well as a flash drive, which is what was testified to, which means What happened to the
flash drive.
SD cards?
Right.
So the SD cards, if you're
Wait. You're telling me, again, I have to keep going through this. Apparently, this isn't a flash drive. Apparently, only this is a flash drive. The only problem is this has no memory in it whatsoever. So if I plug it in, nothing happens. But guess what happens? When I plug this into it, all of a sudden it becomes a flash drive. Oh, isn't that so crazy? It's just so fun, isn't it? Crazy. I also have it to where beneath it has a micro SD. What is she talking about? Like, she just does not know what a flash drive is. Both of these women here have had the privilege of being able to just walk in, speak on camera, and leave, while all the audio, video editors and stuff actually have to handle the equipment, and, you know, she just doesn't know. So they just assume flash drive means USB drive. It doesn't have to be USB at all. It doesn't have to be. It could be Thunderbolt, you know? It could be, not Thunderbolt, Lightning cable. Thunderbolt is a version of USB. But, you know, it could have been Firewire. Anybody remember Firewire? Firewire was freaking awesome. You know how many thumb drives used to be made for Firewire? I wish they still made Firewire. It was unbelievable. Unbelievably, like, oh man, I love Firewire so much. But they don't make it anymore, and everything is stupid without it, to be honest, but whatever. Anyway, if you meant USB drive, that'd be one thing. But there are many, many, many different versions of flash drives that do not use USB at all. As a matter of fact, technically speaking, this external hard drive is actually just a flash drive. It's not even a hard drive anymore because, well, there's no hard drive about it. Hard drives got their name from the hard disk drives that they would use. We don't use those anymore. We haven't used those in some time. Flash memory is also in your sticks. Why can't I think of what they are? Flash memory thing. Dang it. What is the flash memory on a motherboard called? Dang it. Well, I'm going to get it probably before it comes up. Not BIOS flash memory. Not that. RAM. I'm an idiot. RAM. There we go. I'm so dumb. Anyway, we also have a $15 super chat. Thank you so much from Noi5E28am. Not an apples to apples analog yet. Imagine if you've seen a 75-85% mostly very positive review on Steam. You tried it to then downplay it like Candace and others. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, seriously, it's kind of ridiculous. If I genuinely see something with an 85% or higher, I'm typically going to trust it. That's restaurants, that's going to be video games, that's going to be reviews on Amazon. If it's 85% or higher, it's probably pretty good. Anything below 60% is bad. A good example, 5-star system. 3-star out of, I think it's 55% if it's, it's 60% if it's 3 out of 5 stars, right? I think it's 60 or 65%. It's exactly 60%, yeah. So, 3 divided by 5. 5 divided by 3, I'm an idiot. 60%. If you see 3 stars on something, you typically are going to hesitate. If you see 4 stars on something out of 5, well, you're looking at an 80% ratio, right? Or is that 78%? 4 out of... Is it 78? I think... No, it is a straight 80. Yeah. Straight 80%. Have you ever seen a 4 out of 5 stars? And ever was like, oh, no, I'll pass. Maybe some people. But that's 80% is 4 out of 5 stars. So when Andrew Wilson says he's 75 to 85% sure, that's pretty overwhelming. That is something that somebody will always go to. If you see a 4 or a 4.5 out of 5 star, you're probably buying it on Amazon. And you probably aren't even worried. But yet you apply that same percentage to Andrew Wilson's assessment on if Tyler Robinson's guilty or not. All of a sudden, that's not enough. She was looking for nothing less then 99%, I bet 95%, she still would have been like, that's not overwhelming enough. Pretty crazy, huh?
You're saying that you wanted to assist the officers. You just give them the SD cards. They know how to figure out an SD card. You don't have to do anything to help.
Not if they're looking for their 33-hour manhunt. They don't want to take it all the way back 20 minutes away to start looking for him. They probably wanted to be like, where did this guy go? Can we find him? We need to find this guy now. Can you get it loaded up on a laptop and show the police? That's probably realistically what happened.
Help them figure out how to do an SD card. And so if that excuse of I just wanted to secure all the footage was correct, that's what you would have done. But clearly his focus was that back footage because he even steps over another camera, which would have had a good view of people in the audience. If you thought, hey, maybe someone shot him that was in the audience or Velozzi Center, I would have grabbed that camera that was behind him facing the audience and the questioners. He steps over that camera and abandons an opportunity to grab that SD card at the same time. And he nervously looks around, grabs that back one, and then walks around to the back of the tent, as you just showed.
And
now if you fail your test,
I don't want it to be lost on our audience, so I want to reiterate. He never provided, and this is based on the testimony that you can hear for yourselves during the preliminary hearing. He never provided the SD card, the original, SD card to the, investigation.
Now, how do you know that? That's a heck of a claim. You don't know if that SD card is sitting in an evidence locker or not. You have absolutely no clue. Who told you that that SD card was not turned over? See, this is what I'm talking about. Too many times, these women here, Anna and Candace, make claims with zero evidence.
He just provided the Google links and a flash drive, which would indicate that there's a possibility of evidence tampering. No? I mean, I'm not saying that he did do that, but that there's a possibility for that.
There's certainly a possibility, and what's also interesting to me is like the SBI, they control the case, right? So that's the State Bureau of Investigations. The lead investigators on the case are the SBI. They were on the ground that day. I believe he testified. It was about 1:30 by the time they started saying, okay, this is your job, your job, your job. Your job is to secure the surveillance. Why are you not giving them the SD cards? And the only excuse that we have gotten about where those SD cards are came from Andrew Colvett weeks later. He told the public that the SD cards were given to the FBI. That makes entirely no sense. This is not a federal case, this is a state case. The lead investigators are in the state. Why would, who in the FBI has those SD cards, and when were they given those SD cards? Did Terrell take it back to Arizona and then give it to Kash Patel thereafter? We don't know, but these are questions that anybody who's looking
See, now that's the better response. You don't know what happened to the SD cards. You heard Anna a couple seconds ago. She goes, they never turned it over. And then Candace goes, that's right. By the way, 2 minutes later, I'm going to say, we don't know if they actually turned them over or not. Good job. It is so stupid.
This case should be rationally asking because Terrell had an opportunity to edit that footage. He did. He just did. He and the story that we were told by Andrew Colvett was that he just wanted to secure the footage for the purposes of making sure that nobody stole anything because people are evil. But actually, I don't think his priority was making sure that things weren't stolen because he left those other cameras. He left that other SD card as the one that he stepped over and addressed his computer.
Right.
Like, that's not the first thing. And I want to be clear, this is all happening within 10 minutes of Charlie getting hit. Terrell runs up to a ledge, records a selfie video of himself. As Charlie's being carried to the car, he says, Charlie's dead, which is a stunning thing to say. A stunning thing. Nobody knew that Charlie was dead. Charlie wasn't going to make it. He explained.
Everybody who saw the footage knew. Everyone. Terrell was standing there. He had every reason to believe he wasn't going to make it. There's just not a chance, and we all knew it. A lot of us were in denial, but we knew it.
Away, I was close to him. I saw how bad it was. I just, assumed he was dead or whatever. Okay, I'll accept that. Your next step is not to call 911, but to jump down and secure the camera behind his head.
How many people needed to call 911 at one single freaking time, Candace, and clog the line? What a dumb thing
are
to
we
say.
allowed to acknowledge that that's strange?
I mean,
No.
I'm acknowledging it. I do think that's strange. And what's even more strange is the exclusive footage that you presented on your show just yesterday. So you asked, rightfully, like what happened immediately after
Let's have 1,000
he
people
took
call
the
911.
SD card out of the camera. And you managed
Maybe
to
they'll get
find
there
footage of
faster.
what he did immediately after. So that's what we're gonna take a look at next. Everyone take a look at this video.
Here is what Terrell did thereafter.
It was going to be a
seen for
pre-board
the first
commercial. I
time.
was like, no way. Oh,
Terrell
so
is there.
Oh God, not that. Oh, well, we got him figured out now.
He looks
Oh,
around
what about that guy? He had to bend
again,
over and pick up a hat.
nervously. And he puts the SD card in his pocket.
We
and
don't
he
know
zips
that.
up.
We can't see that.
He doesn't
Hey,
run.
Candace, if you can't accept that Tyler Robinson's on the footage, why should I believe that this is Terrell? Why should I believe this is Terrell? This could be Kubla Khan. For all we know.
To the other cameras and try to grab the SD card.
This
Instead,
is allegedly
what he does is he
Terrell.
whips out his phone and he begins texting with someone. And that's what he does.
How do you know he
He's
wasn't checking
texting
his
with
planner?
someone to say what?
How do you know he wasn't checking his calendar?
I mean, that's a legitimate question. And
You have no
think
idea what
about
he was
the
doing on his phone.
traumatic scene that everyone just witnessed. Less than 4 minutes after Charlie Kirk gets shot, he goes for the camera to take the SD card out. Like, I just feel like most people their mind wouldn't go there. I mean, and I could be wrong. Everyone reacts differently, I guess.
Yeah,
But
duh.
I know I wouldn't react that way. My first thought wouldn't
No, you
be, I
don't.
gotta get the SD card out
I
of
don't
the
think you
camera
know how you'd
directly
react.
behind Charlie Kirk's head. It's just strange.
Which is the least important
I don't
footage
believe
when
it.
you consider the shots. It's the least important footage is going to be that footage because traditionally it always just showed kind of what was at
I'll take a look.
Charlie's feet and a little bit of the audience. It's not a great shot of anything, actually. The other two cameras would be more significant. If that was your instinct to secure the footage, why not do all three at the exact same time? Why this one being prioritized? And I also want to raise the most significant part. He violates the crime scene to do it. He pulls the chair that Charlie, according to him, just died in because he said instantly that Charlie was dead. So he knew it was a crime scene and he drags the chair that Charlie was sitting on that has blood all over it and stands on top of it, stands over the other camera, which has been knocked over, to basically unfasten that camera, to bring it down, take it to the side, doesn't care about all of these expensive cameras that could be stolen. You know, Andrew's story is he was worried about people stealing. Well, okay, let's secure the cameras. And he just takes that SD card out and he's constantly looking both ways. Like, looking both ways as if he is doing something wrong or like he has some sort of a fear. I mean, that's what I see in his body language when I look at that.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I have a huge problem with the fact that he didn't provide the original SD card to the investigators. Like that's a huge problem. Okay, so let's talk about the crime scene a little bit because one of the things that I found strange was how quickly the scene was tampered with in a way that would bury potential or possible evidence in order to help indicate and find who actually killed Charlie Kirk. So can you go over some of what you find strange? So there was the whole paving over of that area.
Yes.
What do you know about that?
So what we know, and this is what has been
Wasn't paved over, pavers were laid. You can lift them up if you want.
shared by the person who directly put down the pavers. So this is not like, oh, he did an interview, he explained everything. He got a call over the weekend asking him to come in for what was described to him as an emergency paver job that was being done because the FBI and the governor of Utah were requesting it. Now, what we do know about that entire area of that courtyard is it was under FBI control. That came out in the preliminary hearing. They described which zones everybody was in control of. And for whatever reason, our FBI, who should not have been involved in this case at this stage. There's no reason for the FBI to get involved in a state crime. Didn't happen across state lines. They decided, giddy up, we're going down immediately and we are going to be in control of the courtyard. So what he is saying would make sense. The FBI was in control. And on Saturday, they had a team come in and dig out and remove all of the dirt. And then on Sunday, a separate team came in and put down pavers. And they said it was an emergency, it had to happen. And so he basically testified, he went on a podcast, so it wasn't like a official testimony, and explained, I I had never in my entire career heard of a paver emergency that couldn't wait until the next week. And they had him lay down pavers. And in the process, they moved.
Whenever you can reference this entire case completely and totally with the Idaho 4 with Brian Koberger, Maddie Mogan, shoot, I hope I didn't forget all their names already. Katie, shoot. I don't want to get any other names wrong just in case. That would be rude. Maddie Mogan, Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Xana Kernodle. Okay. So those 4, when all of that went down, the college did everything it could to demolish that house as soon as they could. The college where Charlie Kirk was ended wanted to do everything they could to get rid of that blood spot. They wanted to get rid of the entire scene. They had students coming back in 3 days. 3 days. Do you really think it would have been a good idea to leave the crime scene up for students to be coming back and forth and walking? Wouldn't have been a good idea. Okay? That's why they did it. Could they have closed it all down? They probably could have, but they probably didn't want the students to have to deal with that. Once the police photographed everything, they got all of their samples, they got everything done, the crime scene was no longer needed. Mainly because there is no reason to preserve a crime scene where 90% of the crime took place on a roof. It's just unbelievable. And yes, it is a biohazard, absolutely. You can't really preserve blood in a crime scene anyway. What does she think would have happened to the blood after day 4? It would have been festering. It would have been rotten. It would have been degraded completely. Bacteria would have ingested all of it. That is how long does she think blood on grass would have lasted? I'm genuinely curious. How long in Utah in the summer do you think blood would have lasted on the ground? What is she thinking? Genuinely, what is she thinking? She didn't even think that part through. It would have been a disgusting biohazard for many, many people, and it wouldn't have even been usable. It wouldn't have been usable. It's just such a dumb way of thinking. I don't understand how she doesn't use her brain at all. Or she probably does know, and her audience is just genuinely that stupid, you know? Joanne, is it Joanne or is it I think it is Joanne, right? For $2 says, Candace did it, prove me wrong. Exactly, I love that. That's hilarious. Oh, Pat the Plumber said, Candace picked Andrew's debate stance, LOL. Absolutely. She did, yeah. Technically speaking, yes. Man, I don't know how I missed that, but I actually thought you said Candace picked a peck of pickled peckers, and I don't know why. Because of the whole pickle thing. But I read that wrong, and it turned out to be just Candace picked Andrew's debate stance, and I was just like, wow, I almost read that out loud. I almost just completely said that out loud as your super chat without thinking a single second. That was just all reflex. I don't know what the heck's wrong with me. Anyway, Witness for $5 says, looking around scared. Bro, Charlie had just been shot. Yeah, it's almost like, duh. Of course. Now, looking at her footage, it didn't really look like he was scared to me per se or nervous. But, I mean, the fact that she would have just came out and been like, oh, look, he's nervous and stuff. What's he nervous about? You remember what happened just 8 minutes before he got up there? It's what a wild claim, you know? Candace isn't very bright. Or at least, she doesn't come across as very bright. You know what I mean? She just doesn't.
About 12 inches of soil. They wanted 12 inches of dirt removed and to have pavers put down.
But okay.
Well, now, moving that dirt
to Owens, 12 inches is, we
down pavers makes sense. You have to remove dirt to put down pavers, but what is the emergency? This is a crime scene. Why would you do this? None of that makes any sense. And so it's another thing where you go, they literally paved over the crime scene.
See how she constantly contradicts herself on this to keep her fans in the whole, they paved over it? So at first she says laid down pavers.
This is a crime scene. Why would you do this? None of that makes any sense. And so pavers make sense. You have to have pavers put down. Well, they wanted 12 inches of dirt removed and to have pavers put down.
And then she says this.
That makes any sense. And so it's another thing where you go, they literally paved over the crime scene.
I mean, it's just, double speak. Speak out of one side of your mouth and then speak out the other side of your mouth. She can't keep her story straight for anything. They are pavers that were laid down. They're bricks. Yes, they took out 10 inches of soil. But do you really think that they got every single last grain of soil? I mean, you had 4 days, Candace. You had 4 days to fly your little rear end up to Utah and collect a soil sample. You had 4 days to call a private investigator and have him collect a soil sample. You have had so many opportunities to send somebody to Utah and collect anything you could have wanted collected. You chose not to. Some investigator you are.
Began paving over the crime scene within 72 hours.
They didn't pave over it.
It's just an absolute nonsense.
They laid down bricks.
I remember you talking about how the authorities also provided area.
Johann for the $2 says Johann as in German form of John. Heck yeah. Hashtag Candace did it. Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Erica Kirk with material
Johann, I'll remember that.
Should have been maintained as part of the investigation. Can you just quickly go over that?
Maintained how?
Absolutely. And so in any traditional scenario where there is an unsolved crime, even if there is a solved crime, you're going to keep certain things into evidence until you get to the trial, right? That's just, and of course, every one of Charlie's personal belongings is going to be assumed that it needs to go into evidence.
Right.
And you will recall that there was sort of this moment where the public really first saw Erica and she's hanging out of the window and she's holding Charlie's St. Michael necklace, his St. Michael pendant, and it's on a chain. Now, there are some people that say that that chain actually was not the original one he was wearing and it had been switched, but we do know that that is his St. Michael pendant. She then featured it and discussed how he loved this pendant and how she would get him a new pendant fixture every year. That's completely crazy. How would you just give that immediately back to Erica and not see that as evidence?
Why would the necklace be evidence? Evidence of what? See, think about this. When I say there's evidence of a crime, it would be evidence of what crime, right? Let's use a little bit of common sense here. Well, evidence of the crime that this guy got hit upside the head with a bat. Okay. Well, we're also going to need that necklace. How does this necklace prove he got hit upside the head with a bat? We're going to have it for evidence, though. Judge, I would like to present to you this necklace. Oh, yes, okay. All right, what is the significance of this necklace? It was around his neck when he got shot. Okay, what does this prove? Well, he was wearing a necklace at that time, Your Honor. And here it is. All right. So what does the necklace prove? Candace, if it's not part of the crime, then it's not evidence. And therefore, they're not going to keep it. Why do I have to explain this?
And we found it strange that so many people who were there that day had like a personal story about the pendant that made no sense. Namely Frank Turek. He told a story and his story has shifted somewhat. And he says it's fine. Everyone has different memories. But he says that, when he got to the hospital, they were securing the car. That was another piece of evidence that they got rid of. They towed the car and wanted it cleaned and resold within 72 hours. I mean, the whole thing is just so crazy that you would tow that car in 48 hours that had Charlie in it and could potentially have some evidence. But he tells a story about the pendant, Frank.
What evidence would the car have? Could you tell us? Could you ever tell us? It might have evidence in it. Okay, of what? That he got shot before he got into the car? Now that he's in the car? What? Like what? I would like to know. See, she has no idea. She just makes stuff up. But Angry Fish Bruce for 5 sorries. I love calling them sorries. That's my favorite thing. Says, I have a source that says Candy has HPV. Prove me wrong. Oh my God. That is so funny, though.
Turek, where
so
he says he went out to the car and
Thank you
first
so much
the
for
FBI
that.
wouldn't allow him to get his belongings, and then he said, where's Charlie's pendant, because I know Erica wants it, and the FBI said, no, you can't have it, and he said, no, I demand it for Erica, and they just
I don't
gave
remember
it to him.
him
Like,
saying
that's
that.
not really a believable story, and I'm sorry that the FBI said, oh well, if Erica's emotional and looking for it, here you go. None of it really makes any sense.
Okay, I have so many questions. Okay, for our audience members, let them know who Frank Turek is, because they might not be familiar. Like, what is role?
Frank Turek is one of about 20 people who claim that they were Charlie's personal pastor. I find that to be very strange as well. He was with Charlie in the days.
This I'm a spooky kitty guy is trying to avoid being banned. Oh, that's hilarious. That's not gonna work, man. I will ban every single one of your accounts. And if you keep doing this, I'll report your account that you're ban evading. Then YouTube will Mac ban you. Don't do it again. Do not do it again, man. It's not gonna be smart for you. And if YouTube Mac bans you, that's going to mess you up for using YouTube. You're going to have to get a whole new router. It's not going to work very well, dude. I don't know if it'll be worth it for you. I would recommend you don't.
He's leading up in Arizona. And for some reason, Charlie needed a rabbi, a priest, and a pastor. I kid you not, in the 48 hours leading up.
Did they all go into a bar?
And they all say that it was because he just wanted to strengthen his debate skills, something that Charlie's been doing for 10 years. He just really wanted to work on his debate skills. Anyway, Frank Turek accompanies Charlie to this event, which is obscure to me that he would be doing that. And then he's kind of filming on his phone, says that he's on FaceTime, rather, is what he says, with his grown adult 35-year-old kids in the middle of a day because they just love Charlie Kirk so much and they want to hear him speak.
Proceed to do her
and mind
show.
you, that son that he's referring to, I'm pretty sure, is in the military. And the shot happens and Frank Turek jumps into the back of the car to accompany
I banned him
Charlie to the hospital. And he did.
If you get banned and then you come back onto here and then immediately start spamming your garbage again, you know what I mean? It's just an insta ban. I don't even give him a chance at that point. If he would have came in and be like, okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done what I did. I would have just unbanned his account. But instead, he decided to get onto another account and then immediately start spamming garbage. And it's like, nah, you're not going to do that. You're not going to ban evade like that and think that you could keep coming in here. Like I said, if I catch him on one more account in here, then I'm just going to send the report and then they'll Mac ban him. That's going to be really, really stupid. And he's going to find out that he won't be able to interact with any channels ever again. On any account, a Mac ban will just make it to where no accounts work, no matter what you do. So, I mean, it's just really not smart. Don't do it. It's not worth it, guy. I'd rather not do that either. Just don't do the ban evade. If you want to chill out for a while and then maybe apologize, I'll consider unbanning your accounts. But, dude, I'm not a monster. I don't like to ban people at all. I really don't. But if you're going to come in here and you're going to act like an a-hole and then you're going to start ad-homing everybody, you're not going to stay in chat. That's just not a good thing to do. We can be cordial. We can be nice. If you're not going to be nice, I got nothing to lose by losing you, dude. Like, it's just it. Well, he wasn't even a fan anyway. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Angry Fish Bruce for the 5 sorry says, and explain how someone talking no sense at all can judge what makes sense and uses the same blurry evidence to not prove her point. Yeah, exactly. It's funny, right? Because Candace Owens will use the exact same evidence to prove her side, but if we try to use it to prove our side at all, we're bad. It's funny. It's very hypocritical. Did you hear Tucker Carlson claiming that aliens/demons made the atomic bomb so that the U.S. could bomb a church in Hiroshima? That is interesting. I mean, if you think about it off the top of your head, the nuclear bomb was created by demons. I could believe that. I could definitely believe that in itself. Think about the raw power. I think any demon would love to get their hands on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, the actual quartering, you almost had me freaked out, man. I thought Jeremy was actually in here watching. I was going to be like, holy crap. That would be cool. I'd be like, hey, come on in here. Let's just have a fun chat. But you said the right tried to exploit Kirk's death to cause a civil war. No, I disagree. I disagree completely. Because here's the deal. a leftist has been, actually, look at what the left's been doing. Have they stopped rioting? I just played video of them rioting like 2 days ago. They're smashing places up. They are trying to get authoritarian. They are trying to, if they win the election in the midterms, they're going to stop Trump completely. Then they're going to win the next election. And when they win the next election, they are going to pack the court. They are going to shut down everything. They are going to allow a bunch of illegals to come right back in. It's like we completely forgot about the last 4 freaking years of Biden. Did you guys enjoy Biden? Did you enjoy the fact that he was like, hey, either get the poke or get fired from your job? Did y'all like the fact that Biden completely and totally shut down this country? I'm trying to exploit Kirk's death for a civil war right now. So you're telling me that because I call out people for wrongdoing, that I'm wrong for it. So you're telling me you agree with everything the left has done. Go ahead and get on that. What's wrong with stopping an orange Epstein? Okay, I got a question. How many presidents? Can you name off the top of your head real quick? How many presidents? Don't spam. How many presidents have released Epstein files? I want you to answer honestly. How many presidents have released files on Epstein? Let's go ahead and see it. And actual quartering here. If I find out that you are you the one with the other 2 accounts? Because I can find out really quick. See, go into channel activity here. I'm not going to find out that you have 2 other accounts that I just banned. Am I? Let's wait for him to answer here. 2 questions. Only one president has ever released files on Epstein. Wow. Hey, when did Epstein pass away again? It was 2019, wasn't it? Wow. So you mean to tell me Biden had 4 years to release the files? Huh. When did Epstein get arrested for the first time? Was it 2006 or 2008? Well, that means either Bush or Obama was in office at the time. What happened to their FBI? Why didn't they release anything on him? You're going to pin this all on Trump. It's funny how that works, huh? Hilarious how it works, huh? You're not going to blame anybody else in Congress either. And here it is. All right. I told you, man, if you came back in here. Yeah, this is the same guy. Told you if you came in here. We're going to make this report real quick. Okay. Let's see here. Off. And gone. I warned you, man. I warned you. You're going to find out now. You're going to find out. That's 3 times now that you have come back into chat. Now you're going to find out. And it's going to happen pretty quick. I tried to warn you, dude. I don't know why you wanted to push that. I'm willing to bet you're probably from Pakistan or something. If I had to guess, probably a Pakistani bot. Probably doesn't care too much because, Pakistani bot, they don't really frequent YouTube too much. They just probably get paid. If I had to guess, they get paid. Whoa, my computer froze real quick. Hold on. Really? Why? Okay. Ta-da. There we go. Jeez. Had to actually completely and totally refresh. That's annoying. Thank you, YouTube. All right. Anyway, we'll get back to this.
A media blitz thereafter and told a lot of stories about what he did in the car and spoke about this necklace that Charlie was wearing and how it was just sitting on his backpack when he was at the car. And the Fed said to him, "Oh, there it is." What do you mean, "Oh, there it is"? How did the Feds know that Charlie was wearing a necklace? There it is. Why were they looking for Charlie's necklace? These are all sorts of unanswered questions that
they probably told him, hey, he's got a necklace. Erica Kirk would like it. And they were like, oh, there it is.
We are asking, like, why were the feds looking for it? Why were you looking for it? Why did Erica want it? Why couldn't this have gone into evidence first and been returned to her at a later date? And I'm told by police officers the usual process is they take everything and then the attorney general
and you get too many counts reported,
of the state has to sign off if you want anything personal back. For some reason,
really silly.
They violated all of that for Erica, allegedly.
They'll find out.
We did see her holding it the very same day. So
what I also don't understand, and there might be a reasonable explanation, you would know better than me because you've done so many of these types of events alongside Charlie. After Charlie is allegedly shot, why is he being transported to the hospital in an SUV as opposed to an ambulance? Like, doesn't Turning Point USA usually have like an ambulance nearby in case something happens?
Every single event that I have done has had an ambulance on the side. This is brand new. I mean, everything that day was brand new.
No, you're completely and totally incorrect about that. As a matter of fact, I already fact checked that. You've never had an ambulance on site. Ever at any of your events.
Showed how I even text, like Terrell didn't come to the events. Terrell didn't sit to the side of us. All of that started, and I describe it as sort of boiling the frog. Ironically, the one time, the one semester, so to speak, that I did not go on.
Why did the Bidens own property on the island next to Epstein? Well, good question. It was specifically his brother. If I remember right, let me take a look. Which one of the Bidens owned property by Epstein? I think it was his brother, right? Let's see. Property records show that Joe Biden's brother, James Biden, and his wife purchased a 1-acre property on Water Island in 2005. Okay. So it was his brother, James Biden. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I get it. Put it in your brother's name. Probably a lot more safe. That way, the president doesn't, or vice president at the time when it was, well, he wasn't even vice president then, was he? Interesting. 2005. Yeah. Oh, yes. Everyone in chat saying, yes, it's his brother. Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting, man. And he did it like right before Epstein was arrested too. Crazy.
Tour with Charlie, everything changed.
Funny how that works.
Him up on a platform. They have him wearing this double mic. They have this camera behind
his
head. We never had cameras behind our head. You can go back and find the footage. I mean, I have toured with Charlie from 2019 until spring of 2024. I mean, really appreciate how many tour stops I've done with Charlie. And so I was able to immediately look at the situation and go, what is this? What is all of this? Why is Terrell there? My first question. What is Terrell doing here? He does the big events. He's the CEO of the audiovisual company. This is like a chump change event. I've done UVU with Charlie before, literally have done that exact school. You can go find the footage. What are we doing here? And and Terrell said to me on the phone, we were trying something new. He kept saying that we were trying something new. What was new that you were trying?
No, there is no public record or evidence showing that an ambulance was required or kept on standby every time Candace Owens spoke at a college event with Turning Point USA. This specific claim stems from a broader public debate surrounding the safety protocols and state laws for large campus events, which became a focal point after the end of TPUSA founder Charlie Kirk in September 2025. Context of the rumor. The source of the discussion. Following the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk in Utah Valley University, Candace Owens heavily scrutinized the lack of an emergency response vehicle on site during that specific event. State and university policies. On her podcast shows during interviews, such as on the Sean Ryan Show, Owens noted that states and universities typically mandate an ambulance standby once crowds exceed a certain numerical threshold. Critics and supporters later engaged in online debates questioning whether such requirements were standard or consistently applied to conservative speaker tours. No individual mandate. While individual venues establish a security, fire, and medical rules based on the size of the crowd, there was never a personal, contractual requirement or ongoing practice ensuring an ambulance followed Owens to her standard TPUSA tour stops. And let me explain why. It's very obvious as to why Candace Owens is lying here. An ambulance being on standby for an event, for people being, having a large crowd and all, that ambulance is taxpayer money. It is taxpayer money to keep an ambulance sitting there running with personnel over there at that site, leaving the entire rest of the town or city vulnerable in an ambulance short. Most of the time, cities are at an exact number of personnel and vehicles. And they will not exceed a certain amount. They don't have extra. They have just enough. That's how many ambulances 99% of all these cities are going to have is just enough, which really means not really enough, but as long as there aren't too many calls, we'll probably make it. That's how most cities function. And Candace Owens would have you believe that she would have access, because she's Queen Candace, that automatically there would always be a taxpayer vehicle on standby for her. And it's delusional. Absolutely delusional. Woo! Man, my pause game is crazy.
He said we wanted immediate, feedback back to the ops back home so we could cut clips the fastest, like someone's racing to beat Turning Point at cutting these clips. And so it makes me uncomfortable that there were so many admitted by Terrell new fixtures immediately as they got me out of the picture, putting pressure on Charlie regarding Tucker Carlson as well as me following my firing from the Daily Wire. And then a year later, Charlie's dead. That doesn't sit right with me. That just doesn't sit right with me. And again, you can look at every piece of this objectively and go, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. And why do we have Turning Point unwilling to offer information that could help make it make sense?
Yeah, that's
because there's a trial and it's ongoing and they shouldn't speak until the trial wraps up. That's really it. I mean, it's just that simple. And then after the trial is done, I guarantee you TPUSA will not stay silent. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet everybody here, and I'll happily eat my words if I'm wrong. I'm more than happy to be wrong. Okay, I'm not afraid of being wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I am willing to bet that after this trial wraps up, TPUSA is going to reveal everything. And Candace Owens is going to eat a lot of her words, and her career will be ruined, hopefully. I'm hoping that's the way it goes. Angry Fish Bruce for the 5 sorries says, I had a dream where Candace came to me and told me that she's a paid liar and had something to do with the Charlie Kirk incident. Prove me wrong. Heck yeah. I love the way you guys think. You and Johan, I think y'all might be onto something.
Part of this that's so strange to me, Candace, because it's usually the same group of people who are like, oh, there's nothing to see here when it comes to the Epstein files. Usually people who
I don't know. You all want
defend Israel's undue influence over our government and the wars that we fight on their behalf.
Hilarious.
It's always the same group of people who are not only hounding you and just trying to make you out to be crazy.
There we go.
And while, by the way, totally ignoring your arguments, never engaging in the substance of what you're saying, they just try to defame you. Okay, it is what it is. But what's strange to me is, don't you want these questions answered? Like, don't you want to get to the bottom of what actually happened that day? Very likely.
Yeah, but why not just wait for the trial to wrap up? And if there's questions afterwards, then we can address it.
That Tyler Robinson is involved in some way. Is he the only person involved?
And I've been saying that.
You have been saying that. Yes, you have been saying that. Yeah.
Like, I've never said I think he's completely innocent. I say I do not believe he fired a shot and killed Charlie.
You dirty liar. You dirty little liar, Candace Owens. You are a dirty, dirty, dirty little liar. Dirty, dirty little liar. Tyler Robinson, innocent. Let's just take a look. I'm willing to bet that we end up finding the right video here. I remember exactly what Candace Owens had her hair up in, so shouldn't take me too long to find it. Where are you at? Where you at? Where you at? Oh, I can find it faster on her channel. I'll find it very, very fast on her channel. You guys will be amazed as to how fast I find this. Okay. Right here.
No, convict him. He's calling for the, and when you of how evil it is that these people watched an innocent man be assassinated, and now they are demanding that another innocent man be assassinated. Tyler Robinson is up for the death penalty.
Oh.
So when you see these, it's 100% him. When you see Blake Neff, who is an evil man, saying convict Tyler Robinson, and he does not, do you have reasonable doubt, Blake? No, convict him. He's calling for the murder of Tyler Robinson. That's what that is. unless there is actually an overabundance of evidence we can see with our clear eyes, when you say convict someone, that's what, and you know that they're up for the death penalty, you're calling for them to be murdered by the state. Is that the first time you've ever called for someone to be murdered by the state, Blake? Is it? We're going to find out.
Crazy, huh? Crazy. And here's the thing. She specifically used the term innocent. So, I mean, it's just crazy how it works.
Time. It definitely is time. And I again want to remind you guys of how evil it is that these people watched an innocent man be assassinated, and now they are demanding that another innocent man be assassinated. Tyler Robinson is up for the death penalty. So when you see these, it's 100% him. When you see Blake Neff, who is an evil man, saying, convict Tyler Robinson, and he does not, do you have reasonable doubt, Blake? No, convict him. He's calling for the murder of Tyler Robinson.
You've explicitly said he is innocent. That Tyler Robinson is an innocent man. Don't lie to me, Candace. It's not going to end well. You get caught. You just get caught lying every single time. Why can't you ever clip Blake Neff or Andrew Colvett like that? Why is it every single time you're like Blake Neff and Andrew Colvett and Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and Frank Turek and all these people, they're just liars. They lie, they lie, they lie. But when you lie, I can actually pull a clip of you directly lying because, again...
Like, I've never said I think he's completely innocent.
Crazy, huh? Just crazy. Candace, get help.
I say I do not believe he fired a shot and killed Charlie Kirk. So for what is being brought against him, I think he is innocent of. Could he be an accessory to murder? Was he burying clothes?
She caught herself. She caught herself trying not to say bury.
And hiding it, taking instruction from his boyfriend. I know he was around campus that day. I was told by a Robinson family member that he did not
Johan,
step
you
foot
have a point. For the $2, he says she knows Tyler Robinson is innocent because hashtag Candace did it. Correct. I guess I can't argue with that. That's true. Tyler Robinson is innocent because Candace was the one up there. She's up there laying down and oh my gosh. Johan, that's hilarious, man.
On campus that day.
That's actually pretty good.
And so, I feel like it's not like we're being crazy here. We're asking Turning Point to help assist us. And the most disturbing part of all of this for me is that his wife is not telling the public the truth about so many things that she could easily tell the truth about. And this is not some widow that went home and is averse to publicity. If she was like, I don't care, I'm not getting involved, my focus is my children, and I'm camera shy, so to speak, you'd be like, okay, well, that's just who she is.
Well,
no, she's on tours. She's Shabbat and she's Shalom and she's talking to everybody. You can't keep her away. She went right into.
When was the last Erica Kirk event? When was her last public appearance? When was the last time she did an interview? It's definitely not as often as you, Candace.
To the office that week and led a call giggling about emojis. How are you out of bed? I'm sorry, are you trying to tell us that it's not reasonable for us to expect you to mourn longer than 72 hours? The world who did not know him.
The last Erica Kirk public event was April 17th, 2026. Okay. All right. When was the last time she was on video? We'll just put it like that, I guess. When was the last time?
Longer. People who did not like Charlie Kirk mourned longer.
The last time she appeared on video was July 25th, 2026. So it's almost been, it's almost been a full month since the last time we saw Erica Kirk make any kind of public appearance on anything. Okay. Yeah, Candace, you're really angry.
And just because it was so traumatizing. I think everyone felt less safe after Charlie got hit. And you watched it. I felt this suddenly so insecure to go outside. She sits down with Jesse Waters and she says, he's like, were you scared? She's like, no. God's got me. He's like, have you lost sleep? She's like, no. Are you taking any medicine? I don't need any medicine. It's great. It's like, okay, you're Superwoman, I guess, or something. I don't.
Yeah. Compared to you, yeah, she would be Superwoman, huh?
like it doesn't feel right to me, and I have a right to
Lex
form
it,
an
Luther.
opinion on Erica based on her public actions.
Well, one of the actions that honestly made me a lot more critical of Erica Kirk came up in the context of your debate with Andrew Wilson, because he opened the debate by reading an alleged text message that Charlie Kirk sent. And just to kind of sum it up, and I'm not reading it verbatim, I want the audience to know that, Charlie Kirk communicated in that alleged text message that he wanted the security to be bolstered because he's worried about someone on the left trying to kill him. Which is strange, because that was allegedly a text message that Turning Point USA, it could have only been one person, Erica Kirk, because she's the one with his phone. She provided that to Andrew Wilson. Okay, first of all, why are we hearing about this now? Okay,
right.
Why are we hearing about this now?
I use
that
OBS.
Text message is real, if it really does exist, wouldn't you want to put that out immediately? Because
I didn't know NVIDIA
she
had
has
one.
100% backed the theory
I'll have to check into
that Tyler Robinson was the one who shot and killed Charlie Kirk, and that he was motivated by Charlie Kirk's views on the transgender community, right? That this was motivated by left-wing hatred of Charlie Kirk. Okay, wouldn't you want to release that text message immediately then? She didn't.
Right,
She
proves
waited.
your point.
So there's that. But also, Candace, I recall Erica Kirk saying in an interview that he sent no text messages saying that he feared for his life. Now, that was.
Did you ever think that maybe she didn't know how to access the other messages, maybe on Signal or maybe on whatever other app? Maybe she was just going through his text message app. I don't know. Did you maybe think that? I mean, it's been months in between. Who knows? There's explanations for it. Maybe she is lying. Or maybe she just made the mistake. Do you know that for a fact?
In the context of people speculating that he was in fear of Israel coming
use
after
AI
him.
to clip you in?
And so she's like, no, I have
Oh,
his,
yeah,
I
don't
have his
use
phone.
AI.
He
This is
never
just a real
texted
green
anything
screen.
about being
check it
in
out.
fear of getting killed. Okay, well, what changed? Because now all of a sudden there's this text message that alleges that he was afraid of someone on the left trying to kill him. I don't know. That inconsistency is really weird to me and shows a little bit of dishonesty that's gonna make people question anything that is going to be claimed moving forward. But I want to keep going because there's so much to get to. We're not going to get to all of it, but I do think this is like the super important stuff. Now, there's the 30-06. I'm not a ballistic expert.
Yeah, the AI stuff doesn't work well.
And
That's why this looks so good.
I had no choice
if
but
I
to
wave my
kind of
hand really fast, you
defer
can see
to
green.
what the experts were saying. Most experts were saying, you get shot in the neck with a 30-06, there's no way that there isn't an exit wound.
A yellow-green
There's no
fabric.
way that you don't like blow someone's head off with that. And then you have like a few people who come out and they're like, no, it could happen.
Or my green
could
tick.
happen. Totally. I mean, it's totally possible that the bullet wouldn't, there wouldn't be an exit wound. Okay, I don't know. I'm not the expert. I don't know what to believe. Then you have Robert O'Neill. If you're unfamiliar with Robert O'Neill, he's the guy, the Navy SEAL who killed Osama bin Laden.
Anytime, man.
So he's a bit of a ballistics expert, okay? He's been kind of sounding the alarm about the allegations in the official narrative. And I just want to show the audience a little piece of what he had to say on Piers Morgan.
So where'd that bullet come from? You don't bleed like, and I've shot guys closer than the camera was.
One's purple, one's green.
An entry wound doesn't look like that. An exit wound does. Why did his shirt move the way it did? When I've shot people, their shirts didn't move like that. And then the initial reaction was, well, he was obviously wearing body armor and it was deflection. One, no. He wasn't wearing body armor, and two, it doesn't deflect like
this
that
guy
off of
again.
body armor. Why was his shirt moving
Wow,
from
I
right
can't
to
believe
left?
we're going over so much
Why were
old
people
evidence
being interviewed saying,
of
they
Candace.
came from my left to right, from his right to
Aaron,
left?
thank you so much for that
immediately
too, man.
shut down. And then did they tear the crime scene down immediately?
If you were dismantling this precise rifle, how long would it take you to do it?
A 30-06, well, it's going to take several minutes. I can't even remember I grew up, my first rifle was a 30-06 in Montana. And I can't remember the last time I took it apart. I could take the bolt out, clean that off. But in order to break it down to the point where you can even walk with a limp, it's going to take a solid 5 minutes, I would guess.
Okay, so I wanted you to comment.
Okay, so that guy is a grifter. Then I no longer believe that he was actually the one who put a bullet in Osama. I don't think he was the guy. And guess what? His team also does not corroborate his claim that he was the guy who put the bullet in Osama. Wonder why that is.
Comment on what he had to say about dismantling the weapon, because I don't think people are really paying attention to the absurdity of the claim regarding the weapon used and how Tyler Robinson allegedly dismantled it.
Well, so we are to believe that he stuck the weapon into his pants, and it was apart. Okay, so he presumably had one part in his backpack and then had the weapon in his pants, but it was disassembled. And
there we go. So, former Navy SEAL Robert O'Neill publicly claims he fired the shots that ended Osama bin Laden. However, his account is heavily disputed by other members of the military and SEAL Team 6, who state that an unarmed point man inflicted the fatal wounds before O'Neill fired additional rounds. Stolen valor, when you're already in the military and you're right there to take out Osama, and then you have to steal the valor from the rest of your team, you can genuinely tell someone like that would be a piece of garbage. Absolute piece of garbage. He probably was the back end of the team, more than likely, if I had to guess. But he wanted to be the superhero. While his team was doing things for him, I can imagine he's the one who takes the credit. It's unbelievable, you know? Absolutely unbelievable. I don't believe him for a second. EMAC stack for $10. Or EMA stack. EMAC stick? EMAC stack. Something like that. Oh wait, no, I see. EMAC tactical. Okay. I am a ballistics expert. It's literally what I do for a living. Well, I would definitely believe that based on your profile picture now that I could see it. Absolutely. I've run my own business for over a decade. It's very possible that projectile didn't pass through. Absolutely, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. Also, do you have a channel? Do you ever post ballistics on your channel or anything? Heck yeah, you do. Heck yeah, you got let's see. You should upload more stuff. And you only got 2 1-minute videos? 50 cal API, M8 armor piercing, incendiary projectiles. Heck yeah, you got some tracer rounds there? That is so sick. Yeah, you do. In another video, 50 cal spotter tracer projectiles. Heck yeah, man. You got some shorts too. Oh, you actually regularly upload shorts. Nice. Or is it regular? Oh, well, it might not be regularly. But you definitely have uploaded some. Heck yeah, I'm checking out your channel later on. Sweet, man. That's awesome. Hey, people, you guys should go check out the guy that just super chatted. If y'all want to see some ballistic stuff, go check out his channel. Looks pretty neat. Heck yeah, man. I appreciate you.
And then he gets onto the rooftop and takes out a screwdriver. And they don't have footage of this, but they want you to assume that when he ducks down,
have a good night, Johan.
Then spends time reassembling the rifle. Now, I have done a minimal amount of hunting. Yes, I have shot and killed animals. When you do that, the part that he didn't even get to is the scope, which is needed to look through. You would have to zero the scope, meaning you'd have to fire a bullet to make the scope work again. Like, think of it like as a compass. You have to zero it to make it work again.
Yeah, now imagine if you aimed for the head, but then you missed and you hit the neck instead. It's just a crazy concept, huh? It's almost like, probably did actually knock off the zeroing of that by a little bit. However, how you zero in a scope, you have 2 knobs typically, one on the side, one on the top. Some scopes are different. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to have 2 knobs on your scope, okay? I am not a firearm expert by any means either. I'm a guitar guy, okay? I like guitars. That's my main thing. But I know how this works. When you dial in your scope, yes, when you take it off, it's probably not going to be as accurate when you put it back on because you're probably not slapping that thing down at the exact same spot. And you're probably not, and you probably might knock the crosshairs around just a little bit. However, if you take that scope off and put it back on, it's probably not going to adjust it wildly. It'll probably still it'll probably still be pretty dang accurate. Case in point, it happened. It happened. He did fire that shot and it did hit Charlie. And you have no other alternative whatsoever. So Good try, but you fell short again, Candace. Aaron for the 2 says, by the way, most plastics are 2 times harder than lead. That, yeah, definitely. It can be. Absolutely. Lead's pretty soft. Lead's a pretty soft, squishy metal, you know? You can bend lead with your bare fingers. I wouldn't really recommend it because, well, you can also, if you hold lead long enough, you can get somewhat lead poisoning. It's not like mercury, but you shouldn't be handling lead barehanded, you know? But I'm just saying, if you were to grab a piece of lead, you could squeeze it down. I think it's softer than gold.
Oh, he didn't fire a bullet to test. You can't. If you took it apart, the scope would just be completely messed up.
Yes, lead is softer than gold.
I mean,
so
it would
if you think about it,
There's no
you
other way
could
to say
take
it.
gold
Even if you
and you know how
tried
easy
to
it is
pass
to
the
bend.
idea that there was some
Lead's
miracle
easier.
and he had a steel neck, there's actually a YouTuber named Valhalla who was like, hey, let's actually pretend he had a steel neck. Let's take it at face value. And he shot from that distance a piece of steel and it went through. Okay,
Wow.
so even if Charlie...
Yes, because it's very hard. Of course it'll go through. Soft tissues and stuff. I can guarantee you this. Any bullet's going to have a harder time going through a rolled up blanket than it's going to go through a piece of steel. Most of the time. Most of the time because of the amount of energy involved. The amount of stuff that could slow it down. The whole point is you want to add friction. Metal isn't very good at adding friction, Candace. It's a pretty smooth material most of the time.
Had a steel neck, it would have gone through. There are people who have replicated this experiment, said, I cannot get this to happen. I've done this 500 times. I'm not saying one way or the other what happened. I'm just stating that this did not happen.
And
even Turning Point USA, when they introduced that, they say it was a miracle.
If it was soft,
now, the only
thought out
time
meat, it would have been a lot
when they
better.
first acknowledged that it didn't go through, and this is why I do think that part of the reason they removed that footage was because it was never supposed to see the light of day. And we were supposed to assume that it went through because everyone would have made that assumption. And Terrell showed me the footage.
Okay, okay.
Why are we debating whether
That's
it
how
went
this
through or not?
started. When
Like, for real, at
he
this point,
called
we have
me
no other
after on the 18th, and I was like,
explanation.
"You're acting really weird. Like you're just acting weird. Everything you're saying is weird, Terrell. What is going on? Like, help me
brittle.
help you."
It'll
the next day,
shatter.
he called me on the 19th, and he said, "Okay, I'll just show you the footage."
You don't
on
want to
FaceTime.
shoot something
and
that'll
thank
shatter.
goodness, someone on my
You know what I
team
mean?
said, "Candace, just screen record the conversation. You just don't
Also,
know,
it
just
can
screen record
deflect
the
too, and
conversation."
that's
And I
not good.
did.
You don't want to
And when I
ricochet
looked at it,
either.
I was then even more shocked at the fact that Terrell wouldn't show this footage because there was no gore. It was the cleanest footage. We already saw him get hit by the front. So I'm going, why are you not showing this footage? It didn't go through there.
Okay, but we already have seen the footage of the back. What's your point?
There's no blood. Charlie goes down to the side. What is happening here? And immediately after
Goes
that,
down to
my
the side? What do you
husband gets a
mean?
phone call from the
What?
COO of Turning Point USA. And they're like, did Candace record the footage? Did Candace record the footage? And I learned, and I will say allegedly here, that the reason that they were asking was because the feds were freaking out about the fact that I shared on my show that I had seen the footage, and they were saying you need to find out if she recorded it. Okay. And I wouldn't answer because I'm going, why does it matter? One way or the other, why does it actually matter? And this is
Well, that's pretty rotten to do. That's like saying, "Hey, give me a call. I won't record our call. I swear," and then you record it anyway. That's what we in layman's term call a dick move.
why it matters, because it proved that it didn't go
Let's
through.
prove that it was the feds.
So the next day they like panicked and they just, on the same day, they panicked and they sent out a tweet. Andrew sends out this tweet and says, "Oh, we just now kind of want to announce to the world this miracle happened, and Charlie ate healthy, and the surgeon said it's because he's got strong bones and he eats salad, and I guess he's Popeye the Sailor Man or something." And
he's so
he had
strong that the
bones.
bullet doesn't even like push his body backwards. At all. Like
that is 2,000 pounds of force coming at you. Okay, like didn't blow him backwards. Didn't, even if you said
it is impossible. Let me tell you this. You could get the most powerful 30-06 round on the market, and it is impossible for that round to push you backwards. Impossible. It's not going to happen. You would need a massive round to have the energy displacement to move your body. Your body is 70% water. When something hits, you ripple. There's so much energy displacement, and your body handles it really, really well. Our bodies are designed in a way to take impact damage. It's unbelievable that she would ever dare say that a 30-06 round would push him backwards. Not even close. You would need a 50 cal, something a lot. What is the smallest round of bullet that it would take to move a human adult body backward? Okay. So check it out. It says, no bullet, regardless of how massive or powerful, can physically knock a human adult body backward. Because of the physical law of conservation of momentum, a bullet cannot transfer more momentum to a target than the recoil force experienced by the person firing the gun. If a round had enough force to throw an adult backward, it would send the shooter flying backward with equal force. So the Hollywood myth, people flying backward through windows or dropping dramatically after being shot, is an invention for cinematic effect. Conservation of momentum. A small arms projectile delivers negligible physical displacement to an adult body, usually moving an 80-kilogram target by a mere fraction of an inch per second. Penetration versus push. Bullets are designed to pierce and pass through or expand their kinetic energy, destroying soft tissue and bone internally, not to act as a physical shoving mechanism. Why people fall? When a person is hit by a round, falls backwards, it is a psychological and physiological response. I almost read psychological twice. To pain, shock, or neurological disruption, not the physical push of the bullet. You cannot do that. By the way, I just got a $100 super chat. Holy cow, let me scroll over to it real quick. Sorry, guys, I got into reading this. I get a little passionate sometimes. Anyway, Megan's post-menopausal... what's the last part again? Because it's very funny. I got to read your full name. I can't not read your full name here, so I got to pull it up. Megan's postmenopausal rage. Heck yeah. I absolutely love that name. It's so good. You got the other account, too, that I love. Candace's... yeastiality, or you know what I mean? I love that account too. Thank you so much for that 100. Like, genuinely thank you. That is so nice of you. It is freaking out too. It keeps freaking out between 5 and 7 comments. Oh, that is weird. Please give this to Nurse Miss Artie. Happy month of ELUL. Heck yeah. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Very, very much. Thank you. And you all are so freaking kind. It's unbelievable. Like, I don't know what I did to deserve you guys, but I don't know how I could ever make it up to you. I really don't. Thank you guys so much. Aaron, for the $2, says, Tyler never removed the scope. He removed the stock. That makes a lot more sense. But, you know what? Like, Candace Owens will never tell the true story. And the fact that she believes a bullet will knock you backwards. Like, I just cannot believe she's telling people this. I can't believe she's telling people this, and I can't believe people believe it. It's so ridiculous. How do you explain, Candace, all of World War I and World War II, where 9 times out of 10, if you were pulling the trigger on something, it was a 30-06? How do you explain that? How many people were instantly decapitated? How many times did they fire and that you just see all these Germans and Japanese guys flying backwards and hitting, buildings and stuff every day? Like, is that how she thinks World War II happened? We stormed the beach of Normandy. We start firing on them and they're just flying backwards like crazy. And we didn't even need the nuclear bomb. We just did it for fun, right? We just did it for fun. We had the firepower to send these people back. They couldn't fight back or anything. Like, what the heck? Like, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Oh man. It's just so, it's so infuriating. It's so infuriating,
It didn't go through. He'd be decapitated by the front. And I do want to say this, Anna, because I think people have forgotten this most crucial element.
We saw
I did not suspect Turning Point USA at all. So on that day, I was one of the people that was on the phone talking to Andrew Colvett when they were in the hospital. Andrew Colvett told me that Charlie had virtually no neck left, okay? And strangely, that same thing was told to Tucker Carlson, because the only people I spoke to that day were Andrew Colvett and Tucker Carlson. And like, I was like crying on the phone, like what's going on, all of this stuff. And then my husband was told separately. So 3 different people communicated to us that Charlie basically had no neck left, okay? And when I run that back in my head, I realized that that was the intention, was to say that it went through and it like ate his entire neck. Until I saw the footage, and then until I had a source who dealt with Charlie's body and said that's simply not true.
Candace, if it had an exit wound, we would have seen it all over the back of the tent. We never needed the back footage. What do you think? What does she think would have happened had that exited? Could you imagine for a split second what the back of his tent would have looked like had that bullet went all the way through? What are you talking about? The moment we saw him get hit, we already knew it did not penetrate out of the back. It would have blown everything out. The whole back of the tent would have been covered because the entrance wound may have been this big. But the exit wound would have been about this big if it would have went all the way through. It would have been a very big neck, or a very, very big exit. It didn't do that, though. It deflected downward. And we saw that. We saw all of that happen. Immediately, his neck went down limp, and he couldn't do anything. Of course. Well, it's so frustrating.
Charlie
so
really just had a small wound. And I know it looked bad from the front, but it happened to hit his carotid artery, which was completely blasted out, whatever it was that hit him.
His
and
carotid artery,
really
I bet
bad.
it was really corroded,
Charlie
right?
Looked good. He looked good in the casket.
That's insane. Yeah.
So I revisit that, okay? I revisit that and I go, were they trying to establish a narrative that I accidentally, this is their anger at me. They're so angry at me. I don't know where it's coming from. And I accidentally ruined this idea that the 30-06 went through. Terrell was supposed to take the footage. Again, I am being a conspiracy theorist, I guess. I'm saying all this allegedly in my opinion, but also in my experience of what happened that day, what I was told, and what I have since learned is completely untrue. I'm so bothered by it all.
Yeah. And increasingly with like the case that you're making, and I want to be clear with the audience about something else as well, because I think a lot of people are putting words in your mouth, and I think that's unfair to you, right? So, for instance, people are accusing
it's unfair to her, but when she does it, it's
Erica
okay.
Kirk of killing Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
But you have accused Erica Kirk of being complicit in perpetuating this narrative that's kind of being forced upon us about like, this is what happened. This is what Tyler Robinson was motivated by. Ignore
I would love Anna's answer. What is a Black Widow?
All of the material and evidence that really does cast doubt on the official narrative. And I want to show one other thing real quick. During the preliminary hearing, this is like so shocking. And the fact that it's not getting any pickup in legacy media boggles the mind, or maybe it doesn't. During the preliminary hearing, some of the evidence that was so overwhelming, as the influencers said after attending the hearing and sharing their thoughts on it. One piece of evidence was the image that allegedly showed Tyler Robinson. But that image was manipulated. The courtroom saw a manipulated image. So let me show the audience what I'm talking about. All right, let's go to this graphic. At the top, you're gonna see the unmanipulated image of who is supposed to be Tyler Robinson. The bottom image is what the court saw during the preliminary hearing, which is obviously a manipulated image. I mean, and you can tell it's manipulated based on the cars that are distorted in the background. Now, as we all know, Tyler Robinson is a very skinny guy, okay? Let's take a look at the next image, side by side.
You notice that his arm, I mean, come on, how stupid is this? Look at that. And then you could see the top of his knuckles here. This is his thumb. This is his hand doing this. Okay, you see that? His hand doing this? Crazy. So why is there a big old bend right in here? A guy told me that it was because I don't work out or whatever. And it's just like, okay, no matter how good your arm muscles get, no matter how big they get, they do not have this part of the wrist expand out to this long. That doesn't make any sense. This is a broken arm. Why are his knuckles right here? And how are his fingers curving all the way up and around here? That is not natural. That's not natural at all. And then this side of his body is so much smaller. Isn't it weird how this side of the body is so much bigger than this side of the body? Isn't that just a little strange? I don't know. Very weird. Why is his neck going up to his ear? Also not normal whatsoever. Nothing about this is normal. This is a line that goes right up to his ear right here. Where's his neck? Where is his neck? How is his neck like this? Here's his chin right here. Right here's his chin. And it's this close to the bottom of it. Like, this dude is so misshapen. He would look pretty strange, I gotta say. I don't want to be mean, but he'd look pretty strange.
Of Tyler Robinson on the left-hand side.
That makes sense.
On the right-hand side is the unmanipulated image that was not shown in court. The manipulated image was shown in court. But this is the unmanipulated image, which obviously shows a guy who doesn't look like Tyler Robinson and doesn't have the body type that Tyler Robinson has.
Right.
So why?
Why?
All we can do is speculate why, right? But how is that allowed? How is that okay? And why is no one talking about this?
These are the questions that we have that should be answered. Definitively, they changed the aspect ratio. Now, we don't know if the courts did that. Did the sheriff's office do that? Did the SBI do that? I'm told that the courts cannot do that. I got some tips from people saying we absolutely could not be, we would not be allowed to do this. We can't touch anything. This would have been given to the courts, which would demonstrate that someone policing, whether it's the SBI or the sheriff's office or the federal FBI, if they're the ones that are getting their hands in this, have decided to change the aspect ratio to also degrade the images that we are seeing. It makes no sense once they showed the footage.
Imagine thinking that if you decrease the aspect ratio, all of a sudden you get more image. How does that work? How do you decrease, quote unquote, which is not the proper term at all, but okay, let's use your stupid term. How do you decrease aspect ratio and then get more image? I'd really like to know, Candace.
The surveillance footage
doesn't make
during
sense.
The preliminary hearing. You then go to yourself, okay, they started grabbing this footage according to the preliminary hearing by 1:30. They were on the ground. They all had their roles. Akash Patel, this is a manhunt. Why didn't you release the footage, the clearer footage, which you showed at court, immediately to help people find Tyler Robinson or find Charlie's killer? Why didn't they release more? They had more, they had access to more, but they sort of held on to this, released something extremely blurry, and now they're changing the aspect ratio. And simultaneously, they're taking influencers to court to tell us that the evidence is so overwhelming, but they can't show us one clear image of Tyler Robinson on campus. Does that make sense? This is your time. It's a preliminary hearing. You can establish, you're trying to establish probable cause to move forward. Drop a clear photo of him and say, here you go.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Hey, real quick, I got to use the restroom real quick. I drank down all of this. I will be back in just a few seconds, okay? Terribly sorry, guys. I'll be right back. My bad. I did mute myself. I completely forgot about that. I had to take the dog outside too. He was whining. He had to go outside. Now I got to shovel some poopy later, which is always a lot of fun. I was reading off this super chat here because for some reason it didn't pop up. I don't know. Very odd. NOI 5E28am for the 15 says, I am 75 to 85% sure Artie went to the bathroom. However, Candace would argue that isn't overwhelming. Oh, we could see how overwhelming we could make it for. Anyway, Mr. B for the 5 says, towards repainting the bathroom walls. That's pretty good. I appreciate that, man. That's very, very funny. Heck yeah. That's so good.
Tyler Robinson, I would have immediately said, oh, well, there it is. There is Tyler Robinson. I can't even meaningfully say that. I think there's a Tyler Robinson. That's a standard white guy with brown hair.
Yeah.
Who's wearing a cap. That's the best I can do.
Yeah. And, one
of the other Tyler Robinson. It could not be Tyler Robinson.
This is insane. Honestly, it's crazy. Okay, so there's more. The other thing that came out during the preliminary hearing was Lance Twiggs's testimony, which is super important. So Lance Twiggs is allegedly Tyler Robinson's furry lover, who he loves so much that he felt motivated to gun down Charlie Kirk over his views on transgenderism. Okay. So if you are that obsessed with and motivated to harm people based on a political view, you would discuss that political view at least once or twice. Now, the question is, Lance Twiggs was asked during the hearing whether or not he and Tyler Robinson discussed politics. And I thought that his answer was strange, considering what Robinson is accused of doing and what the motive was. Take a look.
Did you and he ever talk about politics?
He did more than me. I don't really keep up with politics very much. He'd usually talk about stuff he heard on the radio on his drive to work and like their work.
Notice how he said, I don't talk about politics much, but he does.
Work cars, since it sounds like their whole crew went in the same car most of the time. But
just a fun little
I wouldn't
fact.
say super consistently because it wasn't a topic I really contributed much on.
What about Charlie Kirk? Did you ever talk about Charlie Kirk?
I personally had never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk before specifically.
Okay. How about political issues? So did you ever talk about gender identity issues and LGBTQ rights?
No, not really.
No, not really.
Couple of gay guys never talking about it.
I just think, I don't know. This is subjective, obviously. I think that's strange. I think that's super strange.
But it also, it should make
Isn't it amazing how every single time the defense or anybody on the defense says anything, Candace Owens automatically believes them? You know, if, what's a good equivalent to this? You know how Erica Kirk says, Charlie Kirk, said this, said that, or, this didn't happen, or this text message was here, or that text message wasn't there. She goes, she's lying. She's lying. I can just tell she's lying. But Lance Twiggs, the LGBTQ furry, whose name is Luna, was like, oh yeah, we never talked about LGBTQ rights before. We never really talked about it. And Candace Owens is like, he's telling the truth. He, she, they, them is telling the truth. Why would they ever talk about LGBTQ ever? Isn't it crazy? Isn't it just a little bit weird that they're like, oh my gosh, see, he said we believe. It's like every time a leftist opens their mouth, Candace Owens jumps on board. Anytime somebody right-wing opens their mouth, she attacks them. I find it to be a little bit strange. Just a little bit strange. It's a little bit strange that Candace Owens always attacks me. She never attacks the left. A bunch of weirdo leftists. It's a little weird.
Angry because the Republicans, neocons, took this immediately and said, this is an open and shut case. It was a political assassination based on the views of Charlie Kirk. And it's because people in the LGBTQ community are crazy.
Hey, Candace, quick question. If Israel ended up ending Charlie Kirk, would it be not politically motivated? You see how often she contradicts herself?
And they did this absent any evidence. Absent any evidence, nothing had been confirmed. Funny that they always accuse me of going on vibes. That's fundamentally.
Candace, literally within the first 5 hours, we had bullets saying "ooh" and "catch this fascist" and what's the Bella Ciao? I guess you forgot about that.
What they did, right? This narrative was set by a bunch of people who needed it to be true, and now they're being presented with evidence from the person that we are to assume is the closest to him, his boyfriend, who's saying, oh no, he never talked to me about Charlie Kirk. I guess the first time he heard about it was in a text message after he had killed Charlie Kirk.
I'm sure Lance Twiggs wants to convict him for killing Charlie Kirk. I'm sure Lance Twiggs was so disgusted that his role model Charlie Kirk was shot, right? That just sounds like good old Lance Twiggs, hardworking man.
Didn't speak to me about LGBTQ issues, and he didn't talk to me about politics. And then suddenly he's
he
killing
say that.
a political
he
figure that he never
politics.
Talked about to honor me. I mean, none of that makes any sense other than they were trying to stoke the flames.
Why are you not saying what he said on the video? We all watched the video. He said he didn't really talk to me much about politics, just Trump and stuff he heard on the radio. That's talking about politics.
In a war between the left and the right, as they have admitted, they keep admitting this, that they just wanted to unite the Republican Party, which was fractured after the Epstein files, and they wanted to get them refocused on fighting the left. That is disgusting.
I
have
totally
plenty of
agree.
things, disagreements with the left. Left has done tons of things that they've actually done that we could talk about.
Shooting up churches, starting riots, letting a bunch of illegals in. Trying to kill ICE officers, things like that. Doing all sorts of crazy things like that. The heck, my computer's not even running hard. Why did that crash? Just all that stuff. The fact that the left keeps trying to, remember what all happened January 6th, how the left set us up for that. Remember how the left ended up locking down the entire country for 2 years and all that stuff? Yeah, they've done a little bit of things. They're quirky. They've done a few things. They only get on their bicycles naked in front of kids and stuff like that. Have their LGBTQ pride things. They try to give things to shove up their rear ends in schools and stuff like that. They give them books with explicit materials, all that good stuff. That's just fine. Oh, it's all quirky. They're just the silly little harmful left. They would never harm a fly. We only had, the Tranifesto from Nashville, which is where you live. God knows you didn't pull your kids out of school because that happened, right? God knows that in Uvalde, the illegal who was a left-winger that had free reign to do what he did to that school, and that was no big deal. How many schools and how many places need to be shot up now in order for you to just be like, well, okay, maybe the left's insane? I mean, the fact that you're so openly defending the left is remarkable, Candace.
Gonna put the biggest assassination ever on them just to repair the party from something that the party should be upset about, like the Epstein files.
I mean, that's definitely a good point.
Yeah,
and look,
that's crazy.
Why would you want to fight that? They were already making these declarations before any real evidence was presented, before any case played out. And I definitely thought that even if, individuals who perpetuated that narrative weren't in on anything nefarious, it is kind of sick to politicize something like a political assassination as something that is politically beneficial to yourself, right? Like you're pushing a narrative in order to lead to more conflict among Americans based on political identity. I don't know, I thought it was sick, just like I thought it was sick that, a few nobodies.
Well, tell the left to stop shooting at us and maybe we can get along with them.
online might have been like celebrating that Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. That's not representative of the left. I was devastated. No. I disagreed with Charlie Kirk on a lot of political issues, but he was a guy who was willing to sit down and have those conversations and have those debates with us. And I appreciated that. Not a lot of people are willing to defend their, their views and engage in debate in good faith, like he did with me and Cenk, both at the DNC and the RNC in 2024. Okay, the final thing that I'll bring up are the text messages, because one of the things that gets cited by defenders of the official narrative is, well, the text messages exist. Lance Twiggs said that Tyler Robinson confessed that he did the murder. What do you make of those text messages? And do you think that is enough to claim that there is overwhelming evidence that the official narrative by our government is true?
Absolutely not, because the text messages have not been verified yet. And that was one of the things that, if you were paying attention to the case, they were saying, you guys are saying that these messages are real. And Kathy Nestor, back in, I want to say it was May, actually it might have been earlier than May, it might have been April, they had a hearing and she's like, we can't go forward because we haven't even been granted our discovery request.
Check this out. Anna Kasparian has scrubbed her Twitter. Scrubbed it, September 10th. She has one September 14th from 2022 when she actually retweeted Charlie Kirk in a good light. And then she goes on to just have August 14th, August 14th, August 14th. That's it. That's the only times it shows her mention Charlie Kirk at all. Anna Casper. Is it A or E? Hold on. A. Anna Casper. And scrub her ex account of mention Charlie Kirk. Interesting. I'll bring that back.
Requests. I haven't even accessed my client's phone. You're telling me that Lance Twiggs is saying this. Well, something that your audience should know is Lance Twiggs was given use immunity for that testimony. What that means in the state of Utah is anything he says in that on that screen as he's giving his video interview cannot be used against him down the line. Like, why did he require use immunity to talk about something that actually happened? Why would he need use immunity? What is the fear here about this particular testimony that he was given this extraordinary use immunity to provide it? And so we do not know if those text messages are real. If they are real, by the way, we don't know where they came from. Like I said during the Andrew Wilson debate,
you won't question Tyler Robinson.
Somebody could be in my Apple login right now sending text messages from my phone, but I'm here live with you. That's why they wanted their discovery request, because they would allow them to see, look at the geolocation. Where is it coming from? Did it come from a laptop? Did it come from an
Drunk Pinata for $5 says, found your channel a few weeks ago. Keep up the great work. Really enjoy your content. Man, thank you so much.
Actual device? That. Where was my client actually at that time? You're telling me that his boyfriend is saying that this is what his Discord said, and this is what the text messages said. Well, it tends to be that lovers share logins, right? That's how it goes. They live together, they share logins. Was he on his computer? Lance, to me, is a very suspicious character in all of this, because the feds have bent over backward to attack him. And I am on the ground investigating this. I spoke to the Twiggs family, and they were the first ones who told me that they found it to be remarkably suspicious that the feds were not looking further into Twiggs, okay? He has a background, he's got anger issues, he's got, allegedly, he has drug abuse issues, I will say allegedly. He has been passed around the family because of these reasons. He's into
I was gonna say the fur, he's not the family,
stuff,
but okay.
Allegedly, again, coming from his family's direct testimony, they're going, I don't understand why they are not looking further into him. That's not a good vote of confidence to come from your family that's saying this. And on the other side of this, when I'm speaking to the Robinson family orbit, they're saying the exact opposite. This is not Tyler Robinson. This isn't what he would do. He's had great grades all through school, graduated with, I think, above a 4.0, but we're supposed to believe he texted the most thorough confession that I've ever seen in my life. I mean, walking you through everything he did on that day.
Candace, he was an idiot. He is an idiot. Are you kidding me? Why do you think this is some 500 IQ individual?
Down to,
like,
they caught me on the surveillance cameras.
Why does she think Tyler Robinson's
I was hoping
so
I would
smart?
live this out. This is my motive. This is why I did this. Anybody with any sense would know, don't text that. Anybody would know that. Like on your iMessages, it's all just so ridiculous. And so we have no confirmation about these messages because the prosecution,
can read his mind.
Actually, they blamed the feds would not give certain discovery requests to the SBI or to the prosecution ahead of this probative hearing, which you just saw.
I was led to believe that Tyler Robinson was turned in by his own family. Is that
lie?
No, it's not.
Absolute lie. His family took him to the police station. And actually, if you go back and look.
Who took him to the police station?
Absolute lie. His family took him to the police station.
It's a lie that they turned him in, but they did go turn him in. That's what Candace Owens just said. How unbelievably stupid is she? It's a dead lie. They never took him to the police station, except his family did take him to the police station. What are you smoking, Candace?
And actually, if you go back and look, Sheriff Brooksby's told the truth about what had happened. Essentially, they told him, you have no other option. They're going to arrest you one way or the other. We can do this peaceably or we can do this the hard way.
Yeah.
With people banging down the door, whether it's SWAT or whatever units would be doing that. And you would put your family at risk. And he agreed to go in peaceably, which is why you see, even in the little footage that they show.
And then his family took him to go turn himself in.
He's coming in. He's still got his phone and he's in his hand during the preliminary hearing. They showed him, and he's got a bottle of water, and he's obviously gone.
He has his phone in his hand. Yeah, it's crazy, right? He's in there, and it's almost like he could have texted on Discord. I mean, it's just so crazy.
Into a room that is essentially, we're gonna speak to you. This is us doing this the nice way, and that was what was agreed to because he had no other option. So obviously, you can see that his parents did not. There's no statements that they mentioned that the parents made, or a sworn affidavit.
By the way,
no
is there
signed
any
statements.
chance we could get
They did not. That was one of the first things I was told when I started investigating this and got in touch with the Orbit from the Robinson family. Was that the media completely lied by suggesting that Matt Robinson turned his son in. No, he went with his son and drove his son to the police department because.
Oh my God. Candace. Trying not to say God, I'm trying to say gosh, but sometimes my language just comes right out. I'm not used to this. You guys should have heard me about a year ago. I was cussing like a sailor, and I've done everything I can to try and clean it up, especially around, my kids and whatnot. I've done a really good job of not cussing around my kids, but sometimes I'm in a different room and then something flies out, and then all of a sudden I hear one of the kids going, "Hey, what's this word?" And I'm just like, oh, "You heard that." So I've been trying so hard to not. And then also now more and more trying not to say God as much, trying to say gosh, stuff like that, just to clean it all up, you know what I mean? But man, he didn't turn him in. He just drove him in there and then walked into the police station with him and sat down and was like, "My son did this." What do we call that, Candace?
As he had to.
It's amazing.
So he
honestly.
had to turn him in, is what you're saying.
Look, I don't know a lot about what happened that day, but I do know one thing. Aggravated murder carries an incredibly high burden of proof, and there is a lot of doubt in this case.
Well, then he probably gets off scot-free and found not guilty, right?
That isn't being addressed at all by your naysayers.
Well, that's because the trial hasn't happened.
Anyone who's calling you crazy, anyone who's gonna come at me for drawing attention to what you've been presenting on your show, how about just address the substance of the material that's being shared and the arguments that are actually being made? Not arguments that they are putting in your mouth, but arguments that are actually being made, but they're not. And I think that is telling. But anyway, Candace, thank you for being so generous with your time and coming on such short notice, because I think this is important for people to know about. I want people to give you a fair hearing. So I know this took a little while, but I thank you for doing it.
No, I'm really grateful, and I think that's one good thing that came out of that Andrew Wilson debate is people.
Well, let's take Anna Kasparian out on her offer here. Can you explain this to me? How about we address the substance? Let's do it. Let's address the substance, Anna. Go ahead. By the way, I did this, but he broke his arm. If y'all get the reference of why his arm's like that. Some good stuff, right? Got the good old Lockhart treatment on his arm there, didn't he? Oh, Chris Hansen. We're going to watch that video maybe tomorrow. We're going to watch a Chris Hansen video tomorrow, guys. Does that sound exciting? Hopefully it is.
people got to hear me try to explain what was going on, and they became interested, and they're going, okay, what's actually going on with this case? And I look forward to actually sitting down with someone who is good faith and going over what I never got to, which was every piece of evidence from the screwdriver to the
you mean someone who agrees with you 100%,
and explaining to them why nothing that they have presented has been even remotely convincing, tying this to Tyler Robinson. Again, I want to be super clear. I do believe that Tyler Robinson was involved on that day and was around the campus. I do not believe that he is the person that killed Charlie Kirk. And I'm happy to be wrong. I hope I'm proven wrong. This is an unimaginable nightmare for me to be thinking the thoughts that I am having and questioning why people that were supposed to be the closest to Charlie Kirk are not assisting me in this endeavor. But I do want to just thank everybody, because I know the left has been a big part of my audience that has been engaged in this case, for caring enough about Charlie that this story has not gone away.
Thank you, Candace. Keep it up. I know that you already know you have a lot of supporters, but we'll be watching. And
I got one more thing to show you guys here. This right here. Vid 1 is 100% aspect ratio correct.
It's the individual in the red t-shirt and the shorts.
Turn that down.
And the shoes.
Here we go.
And do you believe you recognize who that person is?
Yes.
Who is that?
Well, that puts a damper. Look at what happens whenever you get the full aspect ratio done. And you still, even after all the correction, look at how all the vehicles are and everything. You see that giant bend up here. Now that's what we were looking for. Aspect ratio 100%. And look at Tyler Robinson here. Well, all of a sudden, that looks like Tyler Robinson. Wow. Look at that. Look at how good this detail is, too. If you were to take Tyler Robinson and look at his image here. Look at this shape of his face right here, okay? Look at that. And look at that. Look at that dome. Man, that's a heck of a dome, I'll tell you what. And it's pretty prevalent. Amazing. The next
it's
video,
the individual in the red t-shirt and the shorts.
Is the corrected
shoes.
aspect ratio. Now, you can see they had to bend this down, bend this sideways, bend this up in order to get this line right here perfectly straight. Crazy.
And do you believe you recognize who that person is?
Yes.
Who is that?
I believe
Now look at him.
that's Tyler Robinson.
There you go. This one is now Candace Owens. Look at that. See the correction taking place? Crazy, huh? Candace Owens Fed source video. That's why Tyler Robinson seems broader and has spaghetti arms. It's Tyler Robinson. Yeah. Absolutely. Funny how that works. Funny how that works, isn't it? Anyway, I got some supers to read here, and then I'm going to have to go help the wife put the kids down to bed. But if we could get this to 3,900 before that would be so amazing. I don't know how many people are actually in here that aren't subscribed, but I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so, so much for being here. You guys are absolutely amazing. Alrighty, let's see here. So, first and foremost, we have 2EasyB for Cellbrite verified the text. Okay, got you. I thought you said celebrate at first, but misspelled it. I was like, uh-oh. But no, it was Cellbrite verified the text. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's their carrier, isn't it? Mama Owlbear for the 20 says, Candace is being interviewed by the left, who is paid by ActBlue, like the Un-F America tour. They are all intertwined. She's on here to tear apart conservatives. They are all in a league together. This is an op. 1,000,000% correct. Jacqueline Brennan for the 5 says, so the feds are creating weird evidence to draw more suspicion to themselves instead of just saying there's no messages. A WLS release or something? Yeah, pretty much. The feds ultimately decided instead of handing him a AR, which, you know what you could have actually given Tyler Robinson? You could have given him something like a Dragunov or an M1A or something like that that shoots just a regular .308 but is also a sniper. Like, check this out. Way smaller bullet. Dragunov? Oh, Dragunov with a U, right. This right here. Sniper. But guess what? It shoots the same exact bullet. Well, kind of. It shoots a longer version. And by longer, I mean just the casing's longer. The bullet's the same size as any normal 308, or not 308. It's not even, oh, no. This is chambered in 308. That's right. This is chambered in 308. It's a 308 round. It's pretty much the same thing as an AK round. It's a 7.62 by, let's see. By AI mode. Let's see. It is 5.4. That's right. And then the AK-47 shoots it by 3.9. So really, it's just slightly longer. But it is much smaller. Both are smaller than a 30-06 question mark. Yes, both the 7.62 by 39 millimeter and the 7.62 54 cartridges are smaller in physical length and powder capacity than a 30-06 Springfield, by far. Why wouldn't they just give him this? You could also have it chambered in as an AR-10 308. Okay, so these, AR-10 308, not barrel. I didn't type in barrel. What the heck? AR-10. Which looks like this. It looks very similar to an AR-15. It's an AR platform, 308 rifle. You could also go with the M1A 308. And that looks a lot like this. A lot like what he had fired, except this is semi-automatic. It's not a bolt action. So, they could have gone with any one of these, and it would have been a much smaller round. And then nobody would be arguing whether it would have went all the way through him or not. So why wouldn't the FBI give him one of those? And then say it's his grandpa's rifle? Why not? Doesn't it make sense for a ton of gun experts to get the right caliber? Doesn't it? Like, just a little bit. Why would they want you to know that they gave him an impossible rifle to use? Doesn't make sense. Pat the Palmer for 5 says, here's the money for putting that video out of its misery. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you guys so much. So let me go back here. Let me read off everybody who has donated, and then I got to go help put these kids down to bed because the wife is still sick. She's much better. I bet she's completely over it by tomorrow, but we'll see. Tomorrow, I'm probably not going to upload any videos, but we're going to do a longer live stream. I think we're going to try something new tomorrow, and it's going to be fun. Tell me what you all think about that for sure. Pixel Minute Games, thank you so much for not only the super chat, but also the 10 troll gift memberships. Thank you so much. Legendary CEO, thank you so much, man. Graz, for becoming a troll, thank you. Dr. Genkenstein, absolutely, man, thank you so much. Can you fax me? Of course, Steven there. Man, yeah, well, we got to figure something out, man. We got to get you on the channel or get me on yours or both at the same exact time. Why not? We could do a twosome there. Do a double stream. Why not? We could do something like that here soon. I have got to try and find time. I have so many kid birthdays to attend. Everybody, for some reason, all of us had kids at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. Nothing in the middle. And we are just packed. Packed. I have 2 more family reunions to go to. And then I have I almost gave that away. I can't say that. I have another kids event to go to involving the type of sport my girls are in. Put it that way. I really don't want to give out information on that online whatsoever because you never know what weirdo will show up. Wouldn't be good. Especially Candace fans, I really feel like might try to find stuff out because I've had Candace fans threatening to dox specifically my kids. I'm not even kidding. So that's happening now. I didn't really want to put that out there too much. I'm going to leave it at that, but I just want to let you all know that, yeah, they're getting crazy. They're getting very crazy. But police reports have already been made, so don't worry. police are very aware. But anyway, yeah, fax me. We're gonna have to definitely get together at some point if you're still in here, man. We'll try to find time. Artistic Layman, thank you so much, man. Pat the Blummer for gifting 5 memberships and for the super chat. Thank you so much, man. Oh, I'm so dumb. It's noise 28 a.m. or noise to 8 a.m. That's probably. Thank you so much for your 2 super chats, man. Johan Haig. That's what you should have named yourself, Johan Haig. I don't know. I don't think he's still in here. But Johan Haig, vocalist of Amon Amarth. Thank you so much, man. Oh, man. Witness, thank you so much. Angry Fish Bruce for several 5s. Then thank you so much. Aaron, man, thank you so much, too. Several 2s there. Thank you very, very much, man. Emac Stack, I still think people should go check him out, too, because, that's cool as a channel like that. Mr. B, Drunk Pinata, 2 Easy B, Mama Owlbear, Jacqueline Brennan, Pat the Plumber, and for some reason, what the heck? Megan's postmenopausal rage. For some reason, you're not showing up in the rest of the super chats. What the heck? That's weird. But yeah, I cannot ignore you. Oh man, unbelievable. $100 super chat. Thank you so much for that. That's very kind. That's very, very kind. Every one of you all. Nobody had to donate. And you all did. I'm just at a loss. Even all the way down to 99 cents. Thank you so much. Nobody ever has to give anything. The only thing I really ask for is a like and subscribe. And it's just, I'm blown away. You all are unbelievably generous. You're unbelievably nice. I don't know what I did to deserve such a good audience, but man, I don't want to take on advertisers. I don't want to change this channel. I don't want to be bought out. I don't want to have any of that. I've seen, and I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name names. And if you think I'm talking about you, if you come across this, I'm really not trying to point anybody out. Because most of these people, I don't even watch at all anymore because of it. I've watched so many channels get too big for their britches and just sell everything out. I don't ever want to do that. I never want to do that. I don't ever want to go down that route. I don't want to be bought. I want to live a humble life out in the woods. That's it. That's all I want to do. And as long as I can just achieve that, get to that point, and have no debt, I don't need no fancy cars. I don't need no fancy lifestyle. I need none of that. If you start seeing me having a very fancy lifestyle, something's wrong. And I'm not saying I'm not going to have a fancy thing every now and then. I promise you'll probably see me at least get a fancy guitar or 2. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? More than likely. You know what I mean? But those are the few luxuries in life. Hey, if people can buy $5,000 firearms, I think I deserve a couple of $2,000 to $3,000 guitars. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's where people draw the line. Maybe not. But I don't need a giant house. I don't need any of that stuff because at the end of the day, when people start delving too much into that, they start. And I'm not saying not everybody. Some people can own nice, luxurious things without getting corrupted. I just don't want to take the risk. You know what I mean? I really don't want to take the risk. So many good people that I've watched just destroy themselves for $1. I don't want to do that. Thank you guys so much for doing this, and thank you all for keeping me humble. Mina Jelena, I almost missed you. You just sent one. Give wifey my community by host defense for immune system. Hey, thank you so much. She really appreciates that. And to everyone mentioning the wife, I will show her your super chats. I promise you I will. You last time, especially you, Megan's most menopausal rage there. Hilarious name for what I'm fixing to say, but when my wife saw what you had done last time, she broke down crying. I'm not even kidding. She was so touched by it, she could not believe it. And the fact that I get to show her you guys talking about her again and donating, she's going to lose her mind. She had no idea that things were going to go this way. And Oh man, I'm just blown away. You guys are nice. You guys are unbelievably nice. I don't know. I don't know what to say to it. I feel guilty. I feel guilty about it. Like, it's a weird feeling. You know what I mean? I don't know. Thank you all so much. Genuinely, thank you guys. I promise you, as soon as I can build this up to something bigger, I'm going to get you guys back one way or the other. One way or the other, I am going to get you all back. Somehow. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but I'm going to figure something out. I'll figure something out to get you guys something that's going to be just awesome and fun. Whether it be some gatherings or something, maybe I can go around and meet all of you guys one day. Maybe I can, man. I don't know what I'll do yet. I just don't have much to offer yet. But you know, when I look at all the other YouTubers who have made it, and then there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are humble and that do give back to their communities. Like a great example of this, Count Dankula. You guys know him? That's a dude who really appreciates his community. That's a guy who really, really appreciates his community. People like Bering too. Now, Bering, he doesn't do like crazy events and stuff like that, but man, that dude will talk to anybody. 1 follower, 0 followers, 13 followers. He will talk to you. That's a humble, awesome guy right there. Like those two, Dankula and Bering. Man, those guys are they're awesome. They're who I aspire to be more than anybody due to how they treat their audience. How they have not let money get to them and control them. I feel like there are so few people who are like that now. So few people. So, there's definitely that. Send your girls a nice quilt. I love to quilt. Oh, I should open up a P.O. box. If you're willing to do something like that, that's very nice. My girls would lose their minds. That is so nice of you. Oh, man. Alrighty, where now, everyone? That's a good question. Let's find someone. Nikki for the 5 as well. Love you already. Keep up the good work. Oh, love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Genuinely. Oh, man. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, ASD. You cannot serve both God and money. Money is a nice thing. It's not God. And it will never be God. And it will never, ever, ever, ever help you get to a better place. In a sense that, in your heart and in your spirituality. It can buy you nice things, but that doesn't help. You know what I mean? That doesn't help with you as a person. It is a nice thing, though, to be able to get everything that you, need in life just taken care of. As long as that happens, as long as my girls will never want for really anything, for the most part, I'm good. I'm good. You know what I mean? JPB for the $2 retracted your message, but if you just type it, you don't have to. Oh, I don't know if that canceled. If it canceled the transaction, then that is that. But if you already sent the 2 and just didn't want that message read, you could just type it down there so you don't have to spend another $1 on that, man. Just letting you know, I'll read it. I'll look for JPB. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Did somebody end up getting banned here? Yeah. It's one guy that had multiple accounts and kept trying to spam chat. It was really annoying. He surrendered so his family wouldn't get shot up. Turning yourself in is not confessing. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, no, I didn't accuse him of that. It's just the fact that the parents turned him in, and Candace, for some reason, thinks that didn't happen, which is weird. Nikki for the 5 also. Praise be to the Lord. I hope this will help your family. Thank you so much, Nikki. Genuinely, thank you so much. Alrighty, guys. We almost got there. We almost got up to 39,900. We got very, very close. It's all right. We didn't have to. Being 9 off, that's all right. I'll get there by the end of the night for sure. I wonder if I'll get to 40,000 by the time I wake up tomorrow. We'll have to see. Dang angry Artie. Jay Fortman's already at the beginning. You'll catch up. I'm reading your chats now. I always love when that happens, when I see someone in chat typing from like the beginning of the live stream. It's always funny because then they'll get here and they'll be like, oh, they were talking about me. It's so funny. Already no volume. This one is talking while I was in the bathroom. Man, we got a couple. Open a P.O. box? I should do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll get around to doing that for sure. Thank you guys. Y'all are unbelievably awesome. Just unbelievably awesome. Alrighty, guys. I better go. I better get these kids down. My wife is, she needs to lay down and rest for a bit. Thank y'all so much for being here. We'll live stream tomorrow. No videos tomorrow, probably. Maybe I'll do one or two if something crazy comes up, but most likely no videos tomorrow. And then I am going to do an extra long live stream tomorrow. We're going to do some fun stuff for sure, I think, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, Cameron, the channel is growing fast. It's because of you. You guys are doing that. You guys did this right here. This is all you. Thank you all. And I'll see you guys here in the next video. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure that I am fully caught up here on this. But anyway, for real. That is all thanks to you guys. I appreciate every one of you, and I'll see you guys here in the next live stream. Later. Oh, nope, not later. Okay, last super chat. Atreus for $10. Check Candace's latest reply to your video and zoom in on the red car. Wait, to my video? The license plate is in Chinese, which is common for AI manipulated video. Wait. Check Candace's latest reply to my video. How did she reply to my video? She got me blocked. No way, right? Let's see. Let's see. Weird. Maybe I'll just go to Candace Owens' latest replies. Okay. That's odd. Potentially it was them that decreased what's this? Okay, what am I looking for here? Okay, looking for a picture. We'll do this real quick. Is there a red car to this?
And do you believe?
Oh, is it going to be this? Is this a red vehicle right here? Oh, shoot. Not going to show that part. Or is it? Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Mina. Your daughter's subscribed. Heck yeah. Thank you so much for that. Where, I'll have to take a look. I'm not 100% sure where this would be, though. Is it on X? Oh, okay. It's probably going to be over here if I had to guess, but we keep getting a little closer to that red vehicle. Just a little closer. A little bit closer. Why is this all in... Why are we back in 2025? She's posted way more media than that. Oh, videos. Oh, they changed it. Why is this not... What? Okay. Maybe in photos? And everything's out of order. Oh, that's great. Thank you, X. For... What is this? Why? You couldn't order it by date? Why? Like this right here. This was... Oh, wait, no, this was today. Odd. Reposts, maybe? Why? 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 I didn't want to see that. God, she's so freaking weird. All right, I don't want to see that again, so... Here we go. Yeah. Nope. There we go. Cool. Post. Okay, let's see. Oh, man. Zoom in on the... Okay. Candace's latest reply. Atreus, did she actually reply to me? Like, I'm kind of freaking out. But, yeah. Tag me on X over it. If you could. Let's see here. Ashlyn? What is happening in this? Did a little doodling after taking a screenshot? Oh my god. That is absolutely incredible. I love that. Why would you do this? That is so funny. Oh man. Absolutely incredible. Is it under this or something? No. Hey, you're talking about this? I don't see anything like that in this one. Maybe is there another one? Yeah. I don't see anything on that license plate. Is it okay, so it's you're probably talking about the ones that's corrected. If I had to guess, right? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, it's not. I would, if I zoomed in on that, you wouldn't even be able to see anything. Gonna try and find it so quick. Is it this?
It's the individual in.
I can't see anything here at all. It's all just obscured. Just as much as these license plates.
It's the individual in.
Same with this. Yeah. There's just too much. It's too much light pollution. Way too much light pollution to be able to read any license plate here. I could probably try to even just do this, but I don't think it's going to work out very well. I'll give it a shot, though. I'll give it the best possible shot I can here. But that's kind of the problem. It's too much light reflection. You could kind of make something out, but as far as I know, it's probably just the image on the license plate that you might be making out here. Could be like a special license plate, a Utah. I don't even know what state it's from either. So I can't really see. Unfortunately, it's just too much pixelation. See, this is what's funny. People think also, I love this. They're like, oh, 4K footage as they do this to a 4K image. You know what I mean? But watch how clear the footage becomes, or the image becomes. Well, look at this. It becomes 4K. Look at how much clearer it is from it being down here this far. How much smoother it is. But of course, as you start to bring it in and get it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, yeah, it may be a 4K image, but if you stretch it out to being too big, you see all the individual pixels still because you're zooming in on the pixel. So, you know what I mean? I found that to be a funny argument when they're like, oh, they lied about it being 4K. I'm like, this could still be 4K. All of this is 4K for sure. But if you zoom in on a small part of the image, it's not exactly 4K. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, we tried to see it. It is what it is. It's all good. It's all good. Hopefully we may be able to see a little bit more detailed, you know? But I'm sure more stuff will come out. More stuff will come out. We'll go over it, as we typically do. Alrighty, guys. Whew, thank you all so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, and share, guys. We're already at 895. Holy cow. We may actually get to 39,900 before I leave. Thank you all. Atrium, yeah. I don't know if he, I don't know if that was, I'm not going to say he tried to intentionally do anything bad or anything like that. But we'll see. You know, maybe I didn't find the right post. Maybe Candace Owens posted something and I just couldn't find it. Hopefully that's the case. Tag me on X over it and I'll bring it up in tomorrow's live stream. How about that? If I didn't find the right thing, if you just send it to me on X, I promise you I'll pull it up. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.